Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild, and today we are doing I had to ask before, but we are doing the Down Under stream. So for all the people on the other side of the world, that they hopefully can see us stream at a more reasonable time than 6 a.m. in the morning. And I have Pieburn with me, and Pieburn has trouble spawning in, but hello, Pieburn.
Hi, Robin. How are you?
I'm very fine. I'm very fine. Good to see you here, or good to hear from you now. Now that you're back on the scene, people can enjoy videos from you again. Alex Hudson, hello. You are awake. Don't you have to work, good sir? That's just. But maybe you have some free time to yourself. It's stand-up meeting for this. The worst thing. Everything's fine. Don't know. Feel free to work. But if you don't want to, then this is a good opportunity to just stay a while and listen. So Pieburn is still trying to join me here. He is in the world, but the whole respawn screen seems to mess with him. I already went around to turn off all the medical rooms and all the survival kits that are around, and still. So did you hit refresh so that maybe?
Yeah, I've tried that. I might try just disconnecting and connecting again just to see if that actually helps.
Yeah, you can do that too. That's fine too. As long as all the bots are there, then hopefully that works out.
I think I pretty much am subscribed to nearly everything you are as well.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I need to update my list there at one point. I have somewhere a collection on Steam, but it's a bit outdated. I need to go back into that and work on that a bit. So, we don't have a really big plan today. Again, I just wanted to do some streaming and see what the other side of the world thinks. But after I saw that YouTube thinks there are no people watching me from the other side of the world, then maybe some of the Germans or people that are up this early in other parts of the world can join us. We will see. Good, Pieburn. All the things we need to talk things through, and we should do that to be more lunch in 40 minutes. Yeah, that's a good hard limit. Lunch is a lot more important, Alex. You recently, it's always sounds so dumb, but you recently came back to YouTube, and I really enjoyed that. Don't know how will you do more stuff, or are you still is real life still kicking your butt at the moment?
It is. Real life is still a little, but that's how it goes. Unfortunately, I had to stop doing my own business and start working in an office, which always takes up more. But yeah, now I was sort of technically homeless, but I wouldn't. I still had my family to support me, but
okay, you don't have to go into details. There. Okay,
no,
that's
but
good to hear.
Now I'm set up, so I'm all ready to go.
Yeah, that's
so. Yeah, I've started recording and trying the streaming on Twitch, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I sometimes think I should also I should find a way to also stream to Twitch, or I don't know. We have to see. Yeah, after I heard that in your last video, I was kind of feeling a bit bad about putting all the pressure out there, and that's something that you shouldn't do. Kind of if it's don't know. I hope it was understood that this is more the the hey, I want to see more of you instead of I want to see more videos.
Oh no, I took it all in good humor, and it was actually encouraging, and it actually helped me quite a bit throughout some of the let's say lower times. So that was always fantastic. So yeah,
Okay.
I know, I think I went a little bit cranky once, but that was it. I think I was just in a bad spot at that time. But yeah, apart from that, every comment has been taken well received and encouraging actually.
That's good to hear. Again, the whole thing, we always say that, but the whole thing shouldn't be involve any pressure. And then when some idiot comes from the outside and says, "Hey, I want to see more," then maybe that's not a good idea. Even and if you also bring some friends, then maybe that's even more. That's even less helpful. So good. I will just you can try more. I will just go into it again. I packed up some stuff here, and the dune base at the moment is relatively empty, but we will see how. Don't know what else we can do. I mean, we could maybe go and start flying out there and inspecting what other planets and moons we have there. Could be interesting. We will have to see how that works out in the end.
I have a different screen than normal. I think something's actually happening.
That would be great. I see you.
Oh.
I see you.
Hello, I don't have any emotes ready.
The emotes might not work anyways. The world is largely broken. If you see me... Oh, I'm waving. The emotes are back.
Waved.
Yes, the emotes are back. That's the last time I streamed with Bitfighter, the emotes were still gone. I have the suspicion it was... I had one of these weapon mods installed, these handheld weapon mods, and I got rid of that, and it might be that is the reason why I now can emote again. That's great. That's that's something.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's I
didn't realize I'm still wearing my cow suit from a joke I played with my brother the other day.
Completely okay. You can if you want to change, you can do that in the inside. Like, follow me. I have some suit stations up, so we can you can change if you want.
I'll just stay in the cow. It's okay.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I don't know. Again, it's a bit of a weird time for this station here, because I'm planning to again go out there and move a bit away from here, because it's, don't know, I sometimes have projects that I then have to take off and say, okay, need to leave that behind for a while and then come back to it. And at the moment I'm in the midst of basically packing up this this whole joint.
I do love the color in here. It's much better live too.
It's a weird thing. Yeah, I changed the lighting situation because Ramthep and we talked about that maybe different shades of green would help, and that's true, but the lighting situation would be just better. Again, this is wholly inspired by the Dune game, and in the Dune game it was just a green room with things in it that were shaded differently because of the lighting, and I wanted to kind of replicate that within Space Engineers. It worked better than I thought in the end, but it's still not perfect. I'm not really good with textures and with colors when it comes to Space Engineers.
It's, I was remembering, and I actually nearly downloaded from Good Games the original one, because I played a lot of Dune 2000, which I think came after.
It came after that, yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing the first one as well. I think we're just as old as each other, sir.
I don't know how old are you then, if you're willing to share that then.
I'm happy to. I'm a proud 42-year-old.
Yeah, see, you're older than me. I'm 40. So, but yeah, that's a thing. The game was so great. Don't know. Not recently, but it's not too long ago that I played that again, and it's so simple, but it was great fun. I had great fun when I played it the first time. There was a way to plant these crops everywhere at one point, because there was one guy that wanted to spread green to the Dune planet. It was absolutely unnecessary and didn't change anything except that the crops destroyed the spice. And which it's kind of counterintuitive. But if you started to really be deliberate with, okay, I send people here and then get all the spice that's there and then move away from it and then plant the stuff there. It was kind of the thing to bring green to the whole planet, and that didn't work, and the game wouldn't let you do that. So the whole thing was completely pointless, but I did that for hours, moving troops around to plant everywhere. I held off doing the final fight just to do that for hours and hours and hours, and I don't know why. I love the game.
It's a brilliant game, and I'm a big fan of the universe too. I was very excited when you said you found the Dune world.
I brought it in deliberately. That was we can go a bit behind the curtain and say that again, that was very, very deliberate to bring in a desert planet where I don't know. I wasn't sure if I wanted to deserts of Carrick and build more rovers, or if I want to go the Dune route. That was a thing kind of that I don't know, wanted to try. And the problem with Dune is that Dune is so sci-fi that, yeah, Space Engineers is not really made up for this.
Folding space and prescience and
that's
all that cool stuff.
Yeah, that's stuff. The ships, you have to really cheat to achieve stuff. The whole carry-all thing with normal Space Engineers, I don't think that would work. Or at least you would have to scale up like crazy. And I didn't want to do that. So it was easier to then cheat and say, okay, that's to add some kind of grassy dirt. Yeah, that I could try that, Alex. But again, that would take me hours again. I'm not sure if the drill and fill is able to replace voxels. If that would be nice, because then to have some corners where you could just have spread, don't know, alien grass or normal grass, that would be cool. Sorry, Pieburn.
No, that's perfectly fine. I've got the stream on my little phone here, so I'm reading the chat that way too.
Okay, there's not a lot going on, but that's completely okay. It always serves kind of also as an episode, the whole stream thing, and don't know. We at one point you will have to come back for basically a normal episode, and then we will see.
Yeah, I'll have to bring you over to see the Janus as well.
Yeah, definitely. Again, and that's always a thing I definitely like to do. I still have to talk to Dressier, and he dropped off a bit too. That's always something I don't like, if the small YouTubers I really like just start to drop off again because, don't know, time or something gets in the way. That's why I kind of not pressured you, but that's why I always let you know that okay, maybe do another video.
Encouraged. Encouraged. The word is encouraged. Yeah, there's another young man from America. He actually drove across, I think I mentioned it in the last video, Simmer Down, and he has done some home style engineering where he's fixed things on his truck before he moved across country. And he's already up to 24 videos, and he's moved across the country and he's living almost a self-sustaining lifestyle. So that was encouragement too when he used to comment back to me. So
Yeah,
he's continuing on, and I'm trying to encourage him, even though he's I'm not that big myself, but he does some really good stuff too on the moon, digging holes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's
I like watching small ones.
what's the channel name?
Simmer Down.
Oh, Simmer Down.
S-I-M.
Okay, then I will have to take a look at that. The thing is that it sounds so dumb, because don't know, in the space engineer scene, I'm one of the smaller channels that is just not able to really push things, but I like the smaller channels more than most of the bigger channels. And
yeah, myself too.
I have the feeling that the smaller guys right now, and I hope they never lose that, put a lot of heart into what they are doing there, and that kind of gets lost most of the time. And again, there's people that where that's absolutely not the case, but that's why I like the smaller channels a lot more. If you, for example, KMX is one of the smaller channels that I absolutely like, and yeah, this guy needs to do more, and he is putting the time and effort in. And again, I would like to see you and Jasir, for example, to do that too, because the just as an encouragement, if there's no time, like real life always comes first. But don't know, it would be sad to see people drop off just because something gets in the way. That's always sad to see. But again, let us instead of rubbing each other's belly and say you are a good boy, we could just continue on.
Oh, you're a funny man. I love your video and your sense of humor, Robert. It's always bringing my brightness to the day. So there's another bit of a belly rub for you.
Yeah, everything's fine. That's good to hear. That's what I want to provide. That's why I do this, to don't know, keep people away from, don't know, it's this weird form of entertainment. Again, and I say that over and over and over again, and people might not want to hear that anymore, but I'm kind of, yeah, my whole thing is done for the older people. And again, the best thing that I ever heard is that a mother said she's watching my stuff with her children, just to don't know, sit down with the children, just watch a bit of me and have a bit of together time. That's something I like to hear. That's kind of also the reason why I try to keep my potty mouth in check, just so that that I don't, her children or other children wouldn't learn things from me that she might not want to have them hear this early or something like that. It's, I don't know, it's this weird form of entertainment to have people say, okay, I don't watch the video, I just listen to what you say or something. That's why I talk a lot, and I try to then just tell things I heard, tell things I think about, or whatsoever. That's what I really like to do.
Yeah, you and me both. I think that's why this is the best profession for both of us, even though you are teaching at the moment.
I'm not teaching. I'm far away from teaching. Again, that's what I have is not a teaching job. I'm more like a caregiver. That's what I'm doing. There is a bit of teaching involved, but again, that stuff is so easy that I wouldn't compare myself to a teacher, really. It's most of the time, don't know, handing out food, keeping children from hurting themselves, and sometimes sitting there and helping with really, really easy math equations or something like that. It's a weird job, but I like it so much that I'm planning to do more with this, and I don't know. The teacher thing could happen at one point. I had a woman, a young woman that is at the moment. She is studying to be a teacher, and our teachers here have to go into basically into semesters where they do work as teachers. I don't know how to internship, something,
Like a practical.
yeah, something like that. And she asked me, why are you planning to be a teacher? It was kind of this underhanded, maybe try that, I think you're good at this. And she said, do this and that. I want you to see you in that role. And I said, I don't know, maybe too old. But she says, no, there's no too old for something like this. And I'm thinking about, starting something completely different. But that would involve the next 6 years of doing really weird stuff for someone in my age group. But yeah. So
I reckon you'd be good at it personally, but I'll leave you make your own decisions.
yeah. It's people say that a lot. I mean, the thing is, I started to kind of this whole thing. It's a weird thing, but this whole all the last 2 years, I did some things like say yes more. And not think about, you might be bad at something or something like that. And I just try to do, okay, that's maybe a good idea. Maybe I should listen to that and do that. And the whole job now came out of this, that people said, I think you would be good at this thing. Try that. There's nothing that holds you back. And that... don't know. I'm trying to change things that way. It's a weird mindset, kind of.
No, that's a very good mindset, sir, and it's something you should be encouraged amongst everybody. Give it a go.
Yeah. That's the thing. I had nothing to lose, so that was the thing. I thought about something too much, although I had nothing to lose. So but let's not. The whole thing again, we don't know. You kind of have to say, I want to see this, I want to see this, and then we can definitely do all of that.
Jump in the harvester.
Yeah, go up there. There's no airlock or something. Oh, into the harvester. Yeah, then take a look at that. The entrance is below because it's just open on the bottom.
This thing is huger than I thought. Way bigger.
It's a big build, kind of. The inside is a lot more empty than it should be right now. The thing again is that the harvester in the movie itself is really, really big. And again, if you see the carryall compared to it, it's just the sizes are so huge and so vast that I don't know. At the moment, the whole thing is locked down because again, I want to leave the planet soon, and so I locked everything. I locked everything down. The seat in the front, in between the pipes, is basically the main control seat. That the top one. Don't know, you can at the moment just drive the thing and have some Galidus. Hello. What an ungodly hour to be streaming. Yeah, I don't know Galidus, but welcome to the stream. The whole thing is at the moment controlled from here. But at the moment everything's turned off and brought down because I want to save up on the energy, kind of.
I do like the shape of this. It takes me back, as I said. There's a lot of nostalgia when I look at your Dune build.
it's again that it's a nostalgia for me too. The Dune movie, although real Dune fans that like the book are not too happy with it, because it kind of lets some of the things out that Dune brought in.
That would be me, sir. That would be me.
Yeah.
I am one of those Dune book nerds compared to the movie nerds.
Yeah. I read the book too. The thing is, the franchise for me is set up by the movie and by the game. So I read the book, but way after I watched the movie and played the game, so that everything is kind of influenced by that. When I see the designs, when I see anything from that, that's always when I read the book after the movie. Then definitely the movie in my head is definitely playing that way, kind of. And so that's why I wanted to have that shape. Although again, the shape of the original thing in the movie is just not, you cannot replicate that in Space Engineers.
No, it's way too round in the movie compared to what you can do in Space Engineers.
Yeah.
But this is a very good likeness. I've sat there paused with the video paused many a time, just trying to look at, how did you do this bit?
Take it in if you want. Take blueprints. You can have that, but it's don't know. Galadas, no problem. Everything's fine. Thanks for saying hi. That's a good thing. Again, it's a build that in Space Engineers, don't know. It doesn't really work out. So it's too big, it's too unwieldy, and all this stuff. But I at least wanted to be inspired by that and take in the shapes that were there and try to just work with it.
It is awesome, and I mean actually awesome. Not even just looks good. It's awe-inspiring for sure.
It's again, there's a lot more in the world where I don't know, I'm proud of every build, but there's always things that Galadas do this. Oh no. Oh
what?
no! See the red on the horizon. Let us go back to base. It's every time. Yeah, Blitz. Thanks. Let him know, Alex. That's the thing. Having the ability to build round things would just be great. Maybe I give me a second. I will do some preparing, because we have incoming drones again. It's every time we have multiple people here. Something thinks it's good to just go ham at my base.
I blame Splitsy. He's made things too hard.
The assertive installations is a lot more interesting than don't know, ground occupation or whatever there is, but it is a dangerous mod. It is a real dangerous mod.
I'm glad I'm pretty peaceful in mine, because I don't think I could handle any more than those two ships that attacked me in the first.
The thing is that usually I don't get attacked. That's the weirdest thing. That usually there is no. Don't know. I never get attacked when I'm alone. It's always happening when someone else joins. And I'm not sure if that's something maybe set up by the modular encounter spawner. It could be that the modular encounter spawner is ramping up the spawn rates or something like that when there's multiple people in the world.
It's entirely possible. I love this. This is awesome. This palace is just brilliant.
I like it. I always like the shape kind of the one in the game, and it's a weird shape. Don't know. It's unnecessary and completely, but it's a palace. It's a palace of don't know, of a family with royal blood and all that stuff, and these things tend to be very unnecessary. And so I like the shape, and again, it still takes shape. It will get more. The problem in space stations for me is always that everything ends up being very, very smooth and very, very straight. And I don't know, that's something that it's not real good design, and that don't know. Sleep well,
Yeah.
Galadas.
Good night, Galadas. I don't think I really speak to him much in the chat.
He's don't know. He's most of the time popping up in the Thursday streams now, and there will be another Thursday stream today. Just letting you know. in the
After
evening.
I take my beauty sleep, I will be back on to watch as a viewer.
Yeah, in the morning with your morning coffee, everything's fine.
I'm fanboying a little bit here. Oh wow, there's even more.
You don't know. It's you can, but don't know. It's the same. If don't know, Splitsy would invite me into his world, I would basically do the same. And it sounds so dumb, and I'm it's something I don't deal well with when someone comes and says, I'm fanboying. Why? It's yeah. Again,
I've watched you for so long. It's nice to be able to chat to you in person and
you don't know. You're allowed to do that. It's again, it's one of the things. Keeping in touch with other YouTubers is always appreciated and a good thing. So
yes.
If that turns over again with the drones there, then I might have to cheat again. I don't like that in my world, but I might want to get rid of this in the end, because now another signal popped up and decided that it is good to attack us here.
We have 4 drones. 2
yeah, I know.
And 2 squids.
I know. Alex said already that it may be turrets on the tower. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let us put another Telion on. I had to move the field, Alex. The idea is good, and I will do that, but I would have to move the build and repair field right now. I hope that a tower up there maybe is not trying to shoot everything there, and now with everything being on that side, maybe we don't have the problem with the tower. Just take it in. Again, you just move around, see what you want to see. That's.
I'm going through this harvester at the moment, and it's fantastic.
The carry-all.
The carry-all.
Don't go on the inside. That's then it immediately loses its appeal. And again, it also needs more work to be done, just because it's very flat, very straight at the moment. That again, that's not good for the whole.
We're getting close.
I'm trying to set up more things around the base that hopefully can defend us from getting. Okay, yeah, everything. The base lit up.
That's it. Oh, that looks fantastic.
The problem is that I will have now craters again all around the world. That's something. The attack is not concerning to me most of the time. What concerns me is just that there will be trash and all that stuff around. That stuff I don't really like. And the impact craters.
Yes, I'm the same. There's been many times where I've been tempted to readjust Pam's calls because Pam is digging through the wrong part of the mine because I've done something wrong, or I've crashed into the asteroid at one stage.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's
much.
you are at the moment just on an asteroid, or do you have planetary bases too?
No, just an asteroid at the moment. I started the world fresh and gave myself the challenge of a 311. I think I can't remember exactly who gave me that idea, but just the vanilla and 311, because
Yeah.
I like the mods just as well as anyone. But I haven't played vanilla for so long, and with all the new updates and DLCs, I thought it'd be a nice challenge.
Always a good thing. That's don't know. I'm a lot more open with this, and I just do the don't know. I don't do any vanilla stuff because that's I don't know. It's to me it's not interesting. I want to see more of the what's out there when it comes to mods and for me I don't know. It's a weird thing. For me, the mods give the game a lot more life, and that's why I tend to just go with them. But I set my own challenges. Then you have to have that. Don't know if you don't go with a vanilla challenge, then set something up for yourself where you say, okay, I want to, don't know, have. On Mars, don't know, just use rovers. On here, don't use reactors, but that rule already got broken a lot. Something like that is always more interesting than for yourself, kind of.
Yeah, well, I'm actually very tempted because of the time constraints now, working basically full time. I'm very tempted at this point to put in build and repair, just to help with the welding, purely for the welding. I've got Pam doing the mining, but the welding just takes way too long. It's way too much of my time.
Build and repair is for me is a thing that gives me the ability to do YouTube, because otherwise, if I would have to weld up the carryall by hand or Big Blue by hand or something like that, that wouldn't be possible.
Yes, I'm finding that now.
Yeah.
With the Janus, it's just too big, and I've barely even done the entryway. So yeah, maybe this can be an exclusive announcement for the Pieburn channel. Is we're going to go to almost vanilla and put the build and repair in.
It's there's mods out there that don't have that much of an impact. The build and repair is a huge impact, but again, it makes, for me, it makes recording possible. Yes. I'm stretched out and I'm rambling a lot and I'm going around and don't know, have a build go on for far too long. But think about it. If I would, don't know, do everything in vanilla and would have to weld up everything in vanilla. Ash. Hello, Ash. Bog Rocks,
I can actually sing this the way I sing whenever I see his name in your stream. Ash.
Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing that too internally, kind of. After I got the explanation how that name works.
Oh, it's fantastic. But yeah, I'm very I've done a lot of other things, and I'm finding that this whole idea of vanilla, yeah, while it's a great challenge maybe to play, to record with, it's very, very difficult. I did 8 hours, I think, of welding last game, last video, just to weld up the armor on the base and get what little I had done. And I've done another 5 hours, I think, welding, just to get up to the stage where during the streams that I did, or test streams, I should say.
Yeah. Don't know. It's this weird balance of you. Don't know. You want to have the challenge, but on the other hand, if you go and just say, okay, I'm just using bars or Bob just for, don't know. it's a weird thing where the mods. The problem is if you start with one mod, then another one follows relatively close by.
Yeah.
But there's so many mods that help with just weird things. For example, I have this color thing now where I can have multiple color palettes, and that's a great thing. That's something. Don't know why is that not in the game. Why do I only have these? Don't know how many colors there are, and then I have to write down the rest of the colors that maybe I want to use later or want to use again or something like that. And these are then mods that don't cram the challenge too much, I have the feeling. And don't know, maybe you should allow yourself to have certain things but stay away from other things. Don't know, you could go and say I want to have vanilla blocks except for bars, but I'm allowing myself to, don't know, put in color, the I don't know how this thing is, color something, or the paint gun or something like that. This is stuff that doesn't cram the vanilla too much. If you would put in don't know, tier tools, have monster drills or something, that might cram the vanilla experience. But if you go for just quality of life mods, I don't know. I wouldn't feel too bad doing that. But it's your series.
There may be a special announcement in episode 12 then.
Oh, we will see. Can't wait for that. It's again.
I'm loving these guns. These the modders out there just do such brilliant work with these sorts of weapons. And
the laser guns are something that is in the, oh no, don't aim for the, please don't aim for the thing again. They do. They aim for the solar tower again.
Yeah, they do. That's actually. I'm not sure if it's part of the script or part of the AI, but whenever there's solar or wind, they tend to go for those first.
It's my guns, the worst kind of guns. My guns are just, they shouldn't, but the last time they definitely hit the solar tower really hard.
It's actually a very nice view from up here.
Where are you?
Up at the solar tower.
Okay, you are on the solar tower. That's good. I just wanted to clean up some things because otherwise, okay, this thing will impact somewhere in the base again. We will have a lot of debris. I think I will opt to getting rid of that stuff. Otherwise, we will end up with a lot of debris again. That I'm not really happy to have right now. So, sorry guys in stream, lunchtime. Eat well, Alex. That's let me remove these bases because otherwise we will end up with a lot of stuff again that I don't want to have right now in the world. So what else? Where did the idea come from? So you're setting up just a monster ship right now, and
yeah, we basically the joke amongst my brother and I play Space Engineers a lot together. That's so that's where our faction name comes from, the first letters of our real names, and the joke is that whenever he would leave me alone on either his game while he went to bed or vice versa, I would end up building something 3 times bigger than your carryall up there. And he would just wonder why I was doing it. And I mean, that was Bob's inspired because whenever I built something, it was just welded for me. So why wait?
Yeah.
And then massive bases and then ships to fit in those bases. And I actually have I've got to try and find the old file from my old computer, but I had a base, probably a base that would fit the Empress quite easily in its landing pad, and it had galleries all around there, and energy and power and all that, and a bar mix drill probably about as big as your harvester, but vertical.
It's okay. That's always the question I have with space engineers is always, why would you have that? Because, but on the other hand, that's don't know. That's how space engineers work. Build bigger and bigger and bigger.
Exactly, and I did, and I used to. So Ben, my mates were laughing at me because they'd watch me play Space Engineers, and then I convinced one of them to come in, and having a few drinks, he decided to name it the Janus because I think that was the only word he could pronounce at the time.
That's an easy decision then, yeah.
Yeah, I have a weird group of friends. We play Magic the Gathering, usually once or twice a month, and have a few drinks and have some fun and laugh. And, they always laugh at my Space Engineers.
I had to step away from trading card crack.
Oh yeah.
That's I can't handle that. I didn't play Magic. I played other trading card games, but I had to get away from that. That's nothing I can do. Otherwise, I will end up with a lot less money than I should.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mess up a lot of university study just by hanging around in game shops and doing card games or tabletop RPGs. that's just.
Yes. I'm grateful that I had my children, my first daughter in the 90s, so that I could use that as an excuse to stop playing Magic and stop buying the cards.
That's a. I don't know if that's the. I just had my daughter to stop playing, but yeah, it's.
Yeah, well, it was just serendipitous.
Yeah,
we'll say it that way.
Yeah. The rest is it's no. Okay, I removed the stations. We should be safe at least a bit. Again, we can decide what else we want to do. We can go up to the Empress if you want, or something like that. Again, I'm completely open to suggestions. Otherwise,
actually,
I would
love to see the Empress. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you don't interrupt. That's that's always the hardest thing in live streams. Is always this thing with who talks when and what. It's sometimes a bit hard to do that when we play our usual thing, because then we are so many people, and if then other people join that basically don't know the rules, then it gets confusing. But that's one of the things where that's also a thing where I try to say yes more, and the whole live streaming thing basically came out of that too. Because I know that I'm not good with multiplayer, and I don't deal well with people just all the things that Ramethep does, basically. But that helps me to get a different mindset, and that's why I love playing with Ramethep so much, because he throws things at me that usually I don't get, and that's something I really, really like having. That will be an interesting flight, and I will have to hold the button down. Don't know. I need more vector thrust craft. It's easier to fly up to space with them because there's a cruise mode, and then I could just sit back and take a sip of my Coke here. Let me try to do that with one hand.
That's a good idea. I shall do the same.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to.
While you're driving, I'll drink some Coke.
Yeah, sugary drinks to keep healthy here. I wanted to ask something. Okay. So you don't run. You run as Pieburn on YouTube, I think you
Yes,
run as
as-
Pieburn on YouTube. Why this cardboard bunker thing?
Oh, that's I'm also an addict to a lot of tabletop stuff, such as Warhammer,
Yeah.
and I started I wouldn't call it a business. I started a group in Tassie where I grew up, and we would always joke that everything I put on the table just looked like a piece of cardboard. So I threw the name the Cardboard Bunker, because I'm Imperial Guard and we need every bit of protection we can get.
Yes.
And it's stuck. And so the Cardboard Bunker was my painting pseudonym.
Okay. The thing is that as it don't feel any need to do anything about that. But I always had the dragon and the cardboard bunker that didn't fit in my head, kind of, and I was kind of, wow, does this combination come to be? But the thing is that I really like the cardboard bunker thing. And I, from the job I initially learned, I immediately went into, okay, how would you do a logo for that and all that stuff, and the whole cardboard bunker thing I really liked, and the idea was so cool. Cardboard bunker is a great thing.
Yeah, well, that's something. When I was doing the painting and I was looking at marketing and all the rest of it, a friend of mine was a graphic designer, and I was doing I always do sketches and things like that, old logos, weird things like dragons, horses, whatever. And she turned one of those into that logo for me. And
Okay.
And I've lost contact with her, but I'm very open to something else. If
No,
anyone
it's yeah. Okay, let your fans.
Oh no, I'm like yourself. I'm into the whole yes thing. So if the universe throws an artist my way that can help out, I'm quite happy to say yes to that too.
Yeah. The thing is that again, I'm there's people out there that can do that whole thing a whole lot better. I've always found the combination of the dragon and the cardboard bunker, because the cardboard bunker thing I'm absolutely into. That's a really cool thing, and the combination of the dragon and the cardboard bunker was for me was kind of okay, how does that fit together? So I hope I didn't lose you on the way. No, I didn't.
I'm still here.
Okay, so the Empress. I will let me park the ship, so hopefully that Tim can pick up all the components that we have. And I hope that maybe the trash removal on the ground does some work to get rid of all the stuff that's laying around there. Empress. Next stop, Empress. Have fun. But again, the Empress at the moment is also on the inside it still needs a lot more work. With big ships, and I have 2 of them now, that is always a thing where I kind of tend to slack off then in the end. But the Empress,
yes,
again,
I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. I tend to build a giant shell, and then what can I put in the middle? That's the other reason why the Janus is being built bit by bit rather than one whole big ship at once.
Yeah, but you're doing a good thing by going in and saying, okay, this will be here. And I saw that in the last episode that you kind of were walking around and saying, okay, this will be that thing, and then I will have living quarters here, this and this, and that's a good idea to then maybe do it in small pieces.
Yes, it's it's something I tend to not do in real life as well. I tend to rush in, and so I'm trying to be a little bit more patient and not finish everything at once.
It's I don't know. Yeah, I always do that. I always go and I want to build this now. Let's do it. And don't know. Then I kind of run out of steam too fast. So that's why most of the projects I have tend to be just, okay, I'm getting to a stage where I can leave it and then later come back to it. So
This thing is brilliant.
what?
Oh,
The
ship.
The force field or the ship is again the ship is
that too.
the ship is the thing where I kind of take only partial credit because it's basically just a 3 times bigger Duchessa, and the whole Duchessa thing, again, this ship is with me for such a long time that I still, and that's something I fear, I still need to get in contact with a person that made the Duchessa itself, and I would like to just hear how that came to be. And it's something I still always think about. But again, it's just a 3 times bigger Duchessa now with a bit of a spin because you can do some more detail work. So
I love these. Well, actually, I meant to ask you the purpose of the antenna at the front. Is that just for connection or to look good?
it's
Big long.
the candy cane.
Yes. Yeah.
I started that at I played StarMate a lot with a group, and in StarMate there was this rule that if you had a reactor that was basically made out of blocks, and a reactor needed to have a certain it's the rules of the game are were at that point basically it produced more power the more it goes into different axes. So you wanted to have a basically a cross shape and a long line through it, as kind of a star shape, and the longer you could make it, the better. And for example, in Homeworld, some of the ships have these candy canes. They just have long antennas in the front that just stick out. And I did that in StarMate because I, for one, like the idea, the design of the antenna sticking out. Don't know, getting the sensors away from the ship's body, something like that. And it was also the way to say, okay, I can make the whole thing, the whole energy system, a lot longer by just adding a huge antenna. And then I carried that over to Space Engineers to just, don't know, give a nice thing to it, and that's how the candy cane came to be. I used it the first time to house a nanite system in the front, so that I could get closer to a build and didn't have to fly the whole ship in. Kind of.
Yeah, it adds an extra dimension to the ship too, so it's not quite so just a block.
Yeah.
From a distance, it looks like it's got some purpose to it.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it doesn't here it doesn't have anymore. It's just a connection to the front now. So, don't know, people can also connect to the front, and it's neat to have that. If you have crazy big ships, then it's always nice to have, don't know, parking crazy big ships next to each other is really complicated, and
yes.
So it's easier to then have a connector somewhere where you don't have to, bring huge bodies together. And again, it's just a remnant of my time in StarMate. I like that game very much, but StarMate at that point had even less survival mechanics than Space Engineers. So in the end, it was just building ships. And don't know, that always burned me out. Don't know. It burned me out to just build ships, and the next ship and the next ship. And in Space Engineers, I at least have a bit of a survival mechanic behind it. So you don't build the ships just for one purpose, for, don't know, shooting at pirates or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's Sorry, I'm just gobsmacked. This
No,
is
everything is fine. It's go through it. We have time. Electric Dane, hello. Electric Dan, sorry. The numbers got me. You're in the front somewhere. Okay, yeah, I see you.
through the lift.
The lift is that's one of the things I really like. I don't like that it has the protrusions on the top. I would just like to have a platform where I can park a ship on and then bring that down. But that always was the idea to have kind of like a lift in aircraft carriers. Press the button. It will lock us down. The number 2 is you have to aim for it and then
Down the bottom.
yeah, there's the number. Just hover over it with your cross with your I don't know how crosshair, and then you. Thank you, Electric
Yeah,
Dan.
I was silly and turned my crosshair off.
So you are hovering. It might be a bit weird, but that's the cool thing is this is airtight the way it is. So
yeah.
That's
struggling
neat.
to get the base airtight in my place. I'm not sure if I've made it too big, but there's probably a hole somewhere I can't see. So.
Windows are always a thing that don't know let air through sometimes. It helps to kind of keep the rooms to a certain size. So that's why I have airlocks everywhere, so that I kind of keep the rooms relatively small.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to drill out half the asteroid and try and find where there's a gap.
Stone, the asteroid itself is also not airtight. That was one of the things I really hated when airtightness came out, because I had to deal with my asteroid base and was kind of, don't know, that was something I didn't like, that asteroids are just not airtight. Do you want to go back down again? So maybe.
Yeah, let's go back down again. Yeah, I remember back when you
see the doors, these triangles. That's what keeps everything airtight. Then in the end, it's pretty nice. The whole thing. That's the same guy that did the smaller elevators. Also did this one. I'm pretty happy with a cargo elevator.
It's awesome. I didn't realize that was in there at all.
I
mean, I may have missed it when you were talking about it in one of your videos.
There's so many episodes that it doesn't really. I don't know. I'm not even bothered by that, because that happens. This whole room was set up in the first iteration of the Empress, because again that's the second iteration. The first one was sadly lost to a complete computer crash, and the room here had also the hole was where the elevator is now, because I wanted to have the nanite system at that point that I used was such a heavy performance impact that I wanted to basically carry just one around with me. And so the Empress had a receptacle for just accepting a nanite system. So I could bring that in and out of the Empress and move it from base to base that way. Now that's not needed anymore, because build and repair is still a performance hog, but it's far better than the nanites were. And
yeah.
Now this is basically the workshop where, I don't know, you can fly a ship in, repair it, and then get it back out again, something like that.
This may need to be incorporated into the Janus at some stage. I may borrow an idea.
No, everything's fine. Feel free to do that. Again, I'm borrowing ideas from other people too, because again, the whole Empress is basically, the design is just a bigger Duchessa. and so the whole back, the whole, for example, this whole walkway in the middle is just the walkway in the Duchessa made bigger and walkable. So it's I like the Duchessa so much that I just wanted to have more of her to like. And again, the whole
Bigger is
Empress
sometimes better.
Yeah, it's more space for things, and I'm really happy with the Empress. And again, it still needs work, but it's the same with the Big Blue. The Big Blue still needs work too. It's just, don't know. It's all of my projects that at one point just stop, and then I need to come back to it to finish more and more. The thing is, I recently, not recently, but I found out that I can do that with the whole asteroid base, because I don't know, at one point I just left the asteroid base and said, nah, I need to do something else, and I really came back to it and built more.
Certainly did that. The test was it the gravitic drives that you were doing with the frame that's outside?
Yeah,
on the base there. That was the way that moved was just crazy.
Here, do you mean the gravity drive here, or
the ship you were testing the gravitic drives? I think you added a mod for the. I'm probably misremembering the name.
So I have the gravitic manipulators turned on.
Yes, that's the one.
That's the mod that the carryall basically flies with. It's just, again, these are crazy powerful thrusters with not a lot of power used, and they just, don't know, they are nice. I did so much stuff. I sometimes even don't know where what are we basically talking about, because I had
this one over here. I mean,
this one. Okay, this one is something completely different. This is a script. You could have that in your world.
It's vanilla.
There's no mods in here. There's just a script in here. You can have that. That's a script by Patrick Hansen. That's one of the guys that usually shows up that's in the Discord. Denkard, I think it's in the Discord. Kind of brought me onto the track of another scripter that does crazy scripts, and I like my scripters. I had that with 1WSX10. He did crazy work. Then Fund had also this whole, that's no problem, we can do that with the script, and then suddenly I had a script that did things for me. And Patrick Hansen is one of the guys that also does crazy scripts, and this is just a script that runs the gravity drives. The gravity drives are completely vanilla. That's just gravity generators plus mass blocks. There's for ages there's this whole gravity drive thing in the game that just moves mass blocks into certain directions, and the only thing he does is he uses a script to connect your movements that you want to do with these gravity drives. And because gravity drives work differently onto a grid than normal thrusters do, because normal thrusters basically just apply force to the center of mass and move that. But the gravity thing there, it would turn things around the center of mass. That's something that was in the game at one point, and they threw that out because it's just too hard to build with it. Where a force applied then rotates the ship if you're off center, for example. And so that way he for example, there's no gyros on here. This whole thing is missing gyros. Because you can fly that.
I thought they were hidden.
No, you can fly that whole thing completely without gyros and without thrusters. Sit down and fly it if you want. It's just sitting down and starting off. You should be able to just move it. Yep.
I'm a little afraid for the.
It's crazy powerful. The bigger you make it, the faster it goes.
Whoa.
And the next thing is it uses barely any amount of power.
That's nuts.
It is. That's the crazy thing. It needs a lot of components, so it needs a lot of gravity components and all that stuff. But you can drive a really big ship with this script.
It's very sensitive too. Just pushing my push to talk button on my mouse, it's making me wiggle around.
Yeah, it's again that's the thing. At the moment, it doesn't have a lot of mass, so that's a lot of power for just a few blocks.
Whoops.
If you ram anything, that's not a problem. We just remove it.
It's just spinning on, I think, on the spot.
Why does it do that?
Top.
Yeah, it could be the. Let me get into it. It could be the problem that maybe there's desync issues, and then the whole thing might run into problems because of ping or something like that.
It looks to move a lot smoother when you're in there, sir.
It's I brought it to the server to Fundland, and the thing is there that you notice you notice it that there's a kind of a disconnect. It starts a bit before you press the button, then you fly away. There's a bit of time in between that, and that might be the issue for you then here too. But again, this is completely vanilla. You could add that to Janus and nobody would bat an eye. The gravitic manipulators is a mod. That's a mod that's in there, a crazy mod, but this is completely vanilla.
Yeah, I think that would be an interesting way to maybe get a remote control block and a torpedo.
The problem is, and that's something we don't know. We can try if you want. It doesn't fly with remote control at the moment. This way, because a remote control needs thrusters and might also need gyroscopes. And the people were very, very adamant about this, and I'm happy that I have the community behind me that says, this is the way it works normally, and you are completely wrong about how this all works. Again, it doesn't work without thrusters, without gyroscopes, with the remote control. That will just not work. I'm not sure if it would work if you would just add one gyroscope and a few thrusters. Maybe then it would work, but I'm not completely sure.
I feel some experimentation coming on in the future, so
no.
I think I'm going to be blowing some holes in some asteroids later.
You can do that. That's no problem. I tried that on the server. The thing is that, for example, there is. I think Patrick did some work with the script again, so there might be now an easier implementation of the. Now it starts to rotate for me too. I know why. Get away from the ship. That's the only problem that you have, is that other gravity sources, so it will not work in natural gravity up until 0.5 Gs or something like that. It will work, and after that it just is offline, and then you will die. The big ship is called the Empress Electric Dam. And as soon as you have other gravity generators in the area, then it makes problems. So you need to keep that away from other gravity generators. That's why it rotated just a second ago, because the Empress has gravity, and as soon as you get into that, then the whole thing starts to spin because of the bug it works with, or something like that. Let us take a look if we can go and just add some thrusters. The problem is that thrusters are a lot more energy hungry than what we have right now. And Andy Martin, hello. Can you link the script? Right now I can't. Give me a sec. Maybe I can give you the name. We will take a look at the name that should work out for you. I will open the workshop in a second, and then I will show you the name of the script. Hopefully that helps you. It is just Gravity Flight System by Tech. Does that help, Andy Martin? It's an in-game script. Just search for that. He explains everything down there, and there's also a demo craft you can get. Hopefully that is helpful to you. Gravity Flight System. The big ship is called Electric Dan Empress. I hope now you got this. Yes, 1 minute. Okay, and don't know, maybe we can. Oh yeah, that's nice. And we need 1 gyro somewhere. So the Empress is, by the way, not on the workshop or anything, but you can search for the Duchessa. That's a ship that is on the workshop, and that thing is basically inspired by it. It's just a Duchessa 3 times bigger. Okay, if we now do a remote control, we also need. Could you stick an antenna somewhere?
Sure.
The problem is we would normally need to balance the whole thing. I did the usual thing again. So don't know. Maybe it starts to work with that, but I'm not too sure. It could be that it just relies on the thrusters, because the problem is that I don't know how it is basically connected to the flight seat. There is a mod out there that is the control module that Vector Thrust also uses, where you basically then get to use keyboard commands for certain aspects of a script. That's relatively cool. But this script, for example, it has, I think Patrick said something, it has a dampener, but because at the moment it only flies with dampeners, so you have to keep your finger on the button. But you can, do an argument for the script and then it turns off the dampeners. It's a weird thing. That's something I usually don't like. But he said he updated the script and he's still working on most of his stuff. Another script I saw from him that I really found absolutely cool is he has made a script where you set up a mining machine, and then the mining machine starts to drill for ore. When it finds ore, and I think you can even specify what ore, it drills into the vein. Then when it goes through the vein, it stops, goes back to drill more in the vein, and it also uses fold out drills, because the veins on planets are just flat sheets, and it uses fold-out drills to drill more of the sheet out. It's so crazy what the scripters can do with the scripting.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That's absolutely amazing. My brain is reeling from thinking of all the possibilities from that.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's the same for me. I always sit there and whoa, what cool stuff you could do with it.
Yeah. So like watching when you started using the new drilling mod that you were using, the drill and fill, just how that I could just dig out the entire hangar with that, just plonk it somewhere, dust the field, and the hangar's done. Instead of hoping that the Pam miner doesn't smash into the roof and lose the cargo like it did 3 times.
The cargo containers are the worst. By the way, it doesn't. It just uses the remote control and the one gyro that we have. So it's sadly at the moment not able to react to the remote control. That would have been the coolest thing if that would have worked, because then, don't know, you could have don't know, you could have we could have set up all our ships that way and never go back to to anything else
ever again.
Yeah.
I was thinking it would be, if that worked, it would be a good idea to have torpedoes, the large block torpedoes that I want to build, to not use thrusters as well, because that's the trick. How do you get forward thrust when you've got a rotor attachment at the back? And this would have been a perfect solution if I could remote control it.
Yeah. But again,
I can always kamikaze.
Yeah, that's the thing. But the problem is there's no override. So you can do an override with this. This is set up to basically, if you don't use the script for it, you can just use the gravity drive itself. Because if you stick a mass block and then a generator to it and turn the generator on, the mass block will react to that. So it's not the script doing anything here. The script just uses the bug or the exploit that's how mass blocks react to generators, to gravity generators. They just move its own grid with the thing. So if you want to build a torpedo, you could set up the generator on the back, use a mass block and a warhead and a battery or something like that, and then you had a torpedo that would fly straight.
That's awesome. You may see this in the future episodes on of the Janus. Something similar to that.
Yeah, that's how that works. The don't know, it's neat stuff. The first iteration of the Empress had a gravity drive. All good, Electric Dan. See you later. The people said use the gravity drive because this ship was so heavy, and I just at that point relied on just the vanilla thruster, and the gravity drive just is a lot stronger than any thruster could be. And you can, again, you can basically stack that up. The more generators you have, the more mass blocks you have, the crazier the power you can get out of this. And
that's exciting. That's so exciting.
And at that point, it used the Empress used the gravity drive to accelerate or decelerate. So I had it set up with buttons where you said, okay, I want to stop now. Turn that on, and then the whole ship just stopped.
Is that in older videos?
Yeah, it's in the last world. Everything before 617 is the world where I had the Empress first time.
I'll be diving into those archives later, I think.
I recently looked that up because I did a video that might a very, very small one that people might be able to see today. We will have to see how that works out. And I went through my old videos to kind of check on some things and get some footage. And I checked that this world was started over 200 episodes ago now. And so it must be around a year old or something like that now, over a year, I think. It's, the lifetime of this world is, I have to find a way to bring up the lifetime again. So get an even more powerful computer. I'm not sure how to do that.
Wouldn't it be nice just to pop down to the computer store and say, "Can I please have one of the biggest, your biggest, faster CPU and your fastest video card," and just walk out without having to actually pay any money?
Yeah, that would be great. I'm so glad that I have a good friend on YouTube that really helped me out with a lot of stuff, because he's able to do stuff like that, and not like that, but he is a lot more able than I am to do certain things. And he had this stuff basically that I have now lying around, and so he sold it to me for a good price, and I couldn't get away from that, because the CPU that I have in here today still costs more than, don't know, all the computers I ever bought together. And it's great to have that kind of power, because again, space engineers always required me to step up my game with everything, with recording, with having hardware, and I had to invest into a Hop-Org recording device, because Space Engineers I was not able to record with my PC and play Space Engineers at the same time. That was not possible at one point. So the Hop-Org made it possible for me to record, because then the CPU didn't have to do anything related to recording, so it could concentrate its full power on Space Engineers. So I had to constantly step up my game, constantly do something to keep Space Engineers running. And I'm so happy that we are now at a point where Space Engineers runs at least so well that I can just record and play and
so much better than 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. They definitely. And again, in the beginning, it was even worse. It was also a learning process, a recording learning process, because I used a recording program that I thought would be the best thing to do and to use, but it just is. Don't know. I invested money into something that I shouldn't have used from the beginning, basically, and I learned so much about the whole YouTube thing that Space Engineers taught me a lot. Let's say it that way. Okay,
It's a very interesting system. The moving into to recording and learning about streaming and recording and editing, and there's a lot going on. It's not as simple as I originally thought. It's been challenging but awesome.
I'm when it comes to recording, I'm very, very lazy. There's people out there that it sounds dumb, but that put a lot more effort into recording. I'm trying to not. I accept errors in the way I talk, or I accept pauses and all that stuff. But everything behind it, then the editing process, again, it's you learn so much about this. For example, don't know, a bit ago, I still had to filter all my audio because I recorded with a USB microphone that brings in a hum and static noises. And that kind
Yeah.
of, I talked about that a lot. And then I discovered, okay, OBS has filters. I can set up filters, and then I can clean up my audio while I'm recording. And so
that tip helped me so much. When you told me that, I was like, wow, just wow. I didn't have to worry so much about being so quiet in the house. Or,
yeah, that's the thing. I'm always angry with my wife if my wife is doing the work around the house and I'm recording, and in the end I always see my microphone on the filters didn't even pick up that, so I could get a lot quieter about that and all these things. And the same with it streamlines the whole editing process in the end. So it, yeah, you don't know, you don't have to do so much work anymore in the end. Makes life a whole lot easier.
I still haven't found the perfect filter to stop the beard scratching noise from whenever whenever I'm thinking and I scratch my chin, because I've still got a headset mic at this stage.
So one thing that I realized is that I think that's completely acceptable sound. I have that too, and I sometimes leave that deliberately in because don't know why shouldn't the people notice that you're doing something other than just sit there in quiet contemplation. So that's one thing. What you could use is a compressor. There's one thing. Give me a sec. I will look that up for you. Because I can. I hope you can still hear me, and I hope that everything else can see me, hear me. There's a noise gate. That basically where you can say, I want the microphone to pick up, or the recording to pick up once a certain level of noise is reached, and I want to close it down once a certain level of noise is not reached anymore. It's early in the morning.
Yeah.
Can't talk.
I know what you mean. That the last episode, actually, you'll notice that there's a few. I edited the sound a lot more because there was a few times where I would talk a little quieter and the word would drop off the recording.
Yeah, then you need to. Yeah, then you need to bring down the levels there. It's a process where you really have to go into and say, okay, I'm doing that test recording, talking loud, talking silent, and then see where it picks up and then adjust. So it doesn't.
That's the difference between 11 and 117 or whatever episodes.
800
comes through there, so
821. Yeah, it's yeah. That's
plus the live streams.
Plus the live streams, plus everything I've done in StarMade, plus everything I have done in Minecraft before, and all the other games that I have played. I have, don't know, 1,200 videos or something like that. I don't know. I really don't know. Give me a sec. I'm a bit packing up, because if you want to see anything else in the world, we can go there too. The Empress is able to take us everywhere in a really short amount of time if you want. And I wanted to go and do exploring anyway, so I will have to pack up the Empress anyway.
I am quite happy to go anywhere. I'm still flying around this ship and discovering little nooks and crannies. And the big rail. I love these railguns.
The railguns are great, yeah.
I had them in the last ship I built. I had, I think, a dozen of them on the top and a dozen on the bottom, and nothing could stand anywhere near me.
They are the worst energy hogs you can get, but I like them too. the sound, the loading, and then again, and the range. I'm not much of a fighter, so everything that gives me a range advance is always appreciated. And it's good that they are back. They that's a mod that kind of went away and then came back.
Yes. Yeah, I was excited when I saw them.
Yeah.
I was very excited when I saw them coming back in.
Yeah. And imagine, that's the thing. I don't know why you would hide the fact that you're still a person. The problem is that there's YouTube audiences out there that don't like any kind of pause or any kind of. So you constantly have to have this barrage of screaming and fast talking, and that's why my audience is so different. Again, my target group is older, and the older people that watch the videos tend to be okay with not being screamed at and talked fast at, and that's what I'm trying to do. It comes off for the younger viewers. It most of the time comes off as rambly, then. But Rabenschild, hello, good morning, sir.
Hey,
I hope
hello,
I didn't.
Rabenschild.
I hope I didn't disturb your stream in any way. Alex, welcome back. Design in Minecraft over the I could do that. But the problem is the block shapes in Minecraft. When you go vanilla, you're still missing out. Build a castle? Okay, let us build a castle then. No, you never build a castle for me, Rabenschild, so you will not get a castle. I will let Pieburn oogle my...
Hang on, I need to do this for Rabenschild. Can you see me now?
I can...
That's for Rabenschild, just for you, Remy.
Hello, Rabenschild. Why are you mad, Rabenschild? Explain yourself. Was there anything that can we? Yeah, just let us go. What do you want to see?
I'm trying to think back because I've been on Dune so long. I've been watching Dune so long. I'm trying to remember some of the older stuff. Or if you are up for revealing on the stream one of the new planets, I'm quite happy to fly with you there.
We can do that too. We can just go there if you want, but we can also go back and take a look at anything else. You can, if you want to.
I want to pat Igor. I haven't said hello to Igor in person.
Eagle?
Igor, the
Edgar.
Edgar, sorry.
The computer. Okay, we will do that on stream. Normally I wouldn't go there. Then yeah, take a seat and let us get there. Then it's back to Earth. A Cthulhu on Mars game. Oh, okay. I thought I had the feeling you were angry, Ram. That's what I got. Are you sitting down? Pieburn.
Yeah, sorry. Yes,
okay.
Yes, sorry. I forgot my push to talk.
All is good. Now I understand why you are mad. Okay, Cthulhu on Mars, good game, or is it? Did it not hold up? Okay, let us see. I need a GPS point. We will go back to the hyperdrive, and we set it to go to asteroid base 1. That's where we want to go. And then we can just jump. That should work out. 2 on board, and it's a jump of 21,000 kilometers. So strap in, I say.
I'm holding onto my helmet.
And whoop.
Whoa.
There we are. Yeah, the hyperdrive is one thing I basically wanted to have because I hate doing multiple jumps, and the hyperdrive is just crazy powerful. But here you see the problem that this ship has. It is just clunky to move.
All the good ones are, though, sir.
There's good ones that are movable like crazy. Okay, come on. Now I need to go into the Fjord Monkey devs. Funcom. Okay. They have hits and misses, I have the feeling, Ramethep, but Kangaroo Stream is going well. Not a lot of people from the Kangaroo Island there, but we have Pieburn here, so I'm happy to I'm happy to stream, and now nobody from Australia can be angry at me anymore.
Just send them my way, sir. I'll sort them out.
Yeah, that's what I always do. If you want to watch someone from, but YouTube, again, you need to stream. Then everything should be good. Okay, Pirate Raiders. Oh, we might have some drones coming in. Again. Okay, we are here.
It still hasn't spawned in for me yet.
No. Okay, then yeah. I had the problem with Dressier too, so. So it might be a loading issue. Otherwise, you might just disconnect and come back in again. Then it should all be there.
Yeah, it's not even letting me out of the chair. I think it's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then.
In. And I want to know how Remethep did all that upside down right. Did you turn that up? Did you turn your keyboard upside down there, Remethep?
Seems to be. Like Remethep knows a lot of that. Yeah. By the way, you are out of the chair. It's the same problem that I had with Dressier. That maybe log in back again. That would be great. Then everything should spawn in for you. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'll just try re-logging back in.
Yeah, maybe. So I have to talk to my wife in a bit because it's the time for food, and I don't want her to not go without eating something. Yeah, we will have to see how long we can do today, because I still have to announce the evening stream then, and
I'm happy to follow your schedule. For me, this is
all's good. All's good. I've brought time, and we can just do a bit of more work. Yeah, we have Raider drones coming in, so be prepared for things opening up again. When you come back. Okay. Yeah, I will have to do that too. Again, the announcement, but I wanted to wait until I'm done here. I will give it a bit of a move so that some of the guns are able to shoot whatever there's coming.
Here, I'm back. And now I can see things.
See, that's good. Again, the asteroid base. Basically the proud home. If you can't find out, you can go to the other side of the room. There's an airlock.
Yeah, I think it's still loading slightly.
Oh, okay. This will have to be. I will have to be completely silent about that too. Then, in the next episode, not be here anymore, kind of.
I absolutely love this base as well. This this is basically what I would love to build if I found the correct asteroid. I could mine one.
There's a bit of drill work is involved, so it's not completely perfect. But again, it's the only home I have here basically, and don't know. I've now put so much work into this that I really like it too. And again, there's so much more work I need to do. If you want to see Edgar first, Edgar is up here, close to the observatory. Hope you can see me. Yeah, there's a doorway into that on that side.
It's yeah, I'm getting a little bit of a lag. That's okay.
Yeah, that's something I sadly cannot get rid of here around here. We have a lot more grids here and a lot more things around, so
And Australian internet doesn't help.
yeah, it's here's the other elevator. That's basically the personal elevator, but we just can move on through the hallway into the next room. And here that's what I mean by I try to keep all the rooms kind of with airlocks so that the game doesn't have to concentrate on filling up one crazy big room with things. Welcome back, Electric Dan. And there's Edgar, still booping and beeping. It doesn't beep, but it pretends to do. Yeah, sadly.
It was fun watching you building this actually. All the I always thought it was meant to be a certain astromech droid, the observatory.
Okay, yeah. No, the observatory that all just led up to when I started this whole thing, the lab up there and the planets were already in. So I knew that they were there, and I sometimes had moments where I knew, okay, you can see them in the footage sometimes. Very, very small. For me, it was always this, okay, maybe someone notices. But again, the whole Edgar thing was just to, in the end, find the new planets to have something more to do and to have different environments, kind of. And that's why this whole science and Edgar and all this came in. The whole voice thing for Edgar, that's a cutting edge German engineering. Yeah, it has spinny things, Rametheb. Again, that this all came just to in the end be able to present the planets kind of and say, okay, I want to move out a bit and take a look at other planets, because I have now a base on every planet. I don't have bases on the moons, but I find the planets a lot more interesting, kind of.
Yeah, it's the moon's like a big asteroid to me.
Yeah, it's
I'm not
really interesting, kind of. The lab needs more work. I hope that I can do more with that too in the future. And again, what other discoveries wait for us here?
Exactly. That's what I like, the mechanic, as it were, to use a D&D term. Yeah, the mechanic of the story. What can drive the story to the next level?
I always had the wish kind of to do, and I will continue that at one point, to do more fancy content, to have some cuts and some outside perspectives, something like that. The problem that I have is that I don't have this. I have the second computer, but it's not set up to. Yeah, you might have to jump or fly up there. It's that sadly is a bit of a problem.
Pressed way too hard.
And the thing with that again is that KMax is doing such a good job because he has the second computer and he is able to have different camera perspectives. I would like to do that too at one point, and I need to set that up for me. So it's at the moment, by the way, the script is off. I don't want to run crazy scripts just for that. But that was one of the fun things where Fund came in and said, oh, yeah, I can do that. It's no problem. And suddenly I had this whole thing was moving on its own and all that stuff. Oh, I still miss glass panels there and all that stuff. But again, this whole thing was just to introduce planets at one point. It's also one of the nicer. It's a dumb small build, but it gives the world some, don't know. It's like in Star Wars, the world needs to look used, kind of, so that gives it something where you have some, don't know, something that is not involved in anything that's really useful or something like that. I like that.
It's yeah, I enjoyed you building it. Actually, I was really enjoying you building it. I was trying to figure out what this was meant to look like, if it was meant to look like anything.
What do you mean?
The actual observatory itself. Because every time I looked at you building it, I was like, that's R2D2.
And then it's an observatory. That's how observatories kind of look like. I don't know. I had so much fun with this because I have these childish things here that nobody really picked up on. I think you were searching for hints and clues. The sensors, the sensor names.
I spent ages pausing and going back and trying to
it was
get my internet up, and
it was just the first letters. It was just the first letters. That is one of them is I think is the poop sensor, and this is the lamp sensor. It's just dumb fun I had with that, and I had this nice. Don't know. I figured that out. In the pause, I had to pause in the video and I said, you need to name the sensors and then you need to name them something absolutely dumb. But that was a nice thing because I had this smart rotor and I wanted to have, don't know, something that moves with the observatory and don't know. And these things came in so handy because it's just, okay, set that up, it follows the sun, have fun. And that's just what it is doing. That's why it is the I don't know. It's the photon observing something. That's the poop sensor, right? just dumb fun. And I was so happy that nobody picked up on it, kind of. And yeah,
I had to pause. I spent a long time just trying to figure out. Because I saw something and I said, that's got to be something. That's got to be something. He's written something in the screens.
It's again, yeah, and that's on one of the. There's a dumb screen somewhere on Edgar where that's again mentioned, kind of. It's I don't know. It was just dumb fun for me. Yeah, poops and lamps sensors online. That's what I had in there. That's the screen, the small screen on Edgar. That's where I mentioned that again. And again it was the rest again, the rest of the base first was just, okay, I want to have certain things on the base, and now I kind of start to just add things that are just for fun there. And again, this all is still after 5.5 years or so, still a lot of experimenting around with things that I just can't do. I'm not good at building. See ya, Electron. I'm not good at doing surfaces or whatsoever. Oh.
Yeah, it's very difficult to try and use. I think my brother and I built something similar to the Empress, but on a smaller scale, using small blocks as a shuttle.
Give me a second.
And trying to.
Thanks, Electric Dan. Good to hear that. So sorry, I didn't. It's just juggling chat and you then.
That's okay.
A shuttle, Empress, yeah.
Yeah, so we had like a shuttle, something similar shape to the Empress, but trying to make it look like it had depth and dimension.
Yeah.
With the small blocks, became very tedious because of all the amount of times you'd have to just put a small block here and then a slightly bigger one or bump it out, and that was before the half blocks came in. So yeah, it's one thing that Space Engineers doesn't do too well on a smaller scale is the not a flat surface.
The problem is with the small blocks you can go into crazy detail work, but the big blocks are always my problem, because if you want to do detail work with the big blocks, you kind of have to build really big things.
Yeah.
And that's don't know, that just I don't deal with that really well. That's my main problem. Getting, but there's so easy things you can do, and sometimes just don't know, add some blocks here, some blocks there. Yeah, greebling is not easy, Rem. That's true. Sometimes you just have to, don't know. I found that someone built stuff like that when I had this idea to just use some blocks to let them look like something else, and that helped. Someone said, I watched a video about detailing in Space Engineers or something like that, and this guy had ideas of, okay, you can use these blocks to simulate this, and that's a nice thing. Yeah, that's Andy Martin. Something in between, or if you could use small size and big size together, because then you could do crazy details. You could have a big ship in blocks and then use small blocks to do detailing work. And another problem is that in vanilla, most of the big blocks don't have small block variants, something like that. I'm so sad that my elevator, my tunnel is broken. Ripped itself apart. Clang had a word with it.
Which one was that?
I had a tunnel in the big opening here. There was a tunnel I was able to lift up and down with pistons and rotors. That was able to connect both of the sides, and that ripped itself apart at one point. And I don't know.
I've never seen that in.
Yeah, it existed for a long time, and then at one point, Clang said, "No, I don't want to have that here anymore."
Be gone.
Yeah, it was also a huge issue with it never take a look at the F1 menu, the where all the problems are listed, because you would just see how problematic this world in reality is. And this thing was a huge, don't know, after it was gone, the performance went up a bit, because it was just again this base. The next thing I still need to do more is all the docking collars, and for the bigger ships, this still needs work. And again, the big blue, I need to go back to that too, and need to work on that a lot more too.
Actually, your docking collars are the inspiration for the walkway onto the observation for the Janus.
Mm.
So I saw you building the docking collars, and I thought, oh, that is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, but
So
the
much
docking collars
better.
work with mods, so that thing wouldn't work without. What you can do is with merge blocks, you can do docking collars that are airtight.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on at the moment.
Yeah.
Is an airtight one with the merge blocks.
Yeah.
At the moment, I've just built it all as one base, so there's no.
Okay, you want to disconnect it later. Yeah, it's better
Yeah.
to work on something stationary. That's what I usually do too. Where
Yeah, they always float away whenever I try to disconnect them early or get attacked.
I have this whole thing where I basically, if I want to have something big, I start with the whole thruster star where you just then just will not float away. But the problem is these big ships here are when it comes to performance, this is bad, and I'm pretty sure that the docking collars don't help because it's two grids contacting each other constantly.
But they're not connected. They're separate grids.
Yeah, they are just connected with connectors. So, but the cool thing is with this here, it definitely is. You can walk into it without losing air. That's the main thing I had, and I have the mods at my disposal, so I can use them. These airtight hangar fields really help. It's you have to interconnect them, otherwise it wouldn't work. But here it works by just overlapping two sections that are airtight, and then you don't lose. I hope so, yeah, for Space Engineers too, yes. Again, the big blue was kind of the thing that I wanted to replace the Empress with. Oh, I'm losing energy here.
Oh, I just walked onto the bridge of the big blue.
All good. It's
Oh, I'm gobsmacked again.
the big blue. I've put a lot more work into detailing, so there is still really vast and empty areas in the ship that definitely need more work, but I've put a lot more time into building interiors here and using some decoration blocks to just maybe make it a bit nicer on the inside too. You're on the bridge?
Yes, in the tower at the top there.
Okay, yeah, that's the bridge. Give me a sec. Oh no, please. La, 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 la. I need to make sounds because copyrighted music. La 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 la. Okay. The lifts have music, and I just don't want to.
Let's just talk over the lifts going up. We'll just talk a little bit and make sure that
everything's fine. I'm up already. So it's not.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. It's not a long ride. Yeah, it's.
I was looking at my phone at the actual stream.
All is good. That's one of the things I always want to have when I have a big ship. I want to have a good overview where I kind of see the size of the whole thing. And that's why this bridge exists, kind of. So I can see...
It should spread fear in anyone who stands up here and isn't on your side.
It's the big blue. That's not a fear-inducing ship. It should just bring warm feelings to people that see it appear. It has the least amounts of weapons, and it has some, but it's not made to induce fear. Again, it's that was also an experiment in size. The idea first was to have a very asymmetric ship, It's still asymmetric, but the idea that I had was crazier. It was basically the long ship and then an attached hangar like Battlestar Galactica. But in the end, what I had there didn't look fine to me, so I tore it down, mirrored it, and then made it asymmetrical. So it's the Big Blue is another ship that I really, really like. That don't know.
It is a beautiful design, sir. You have done very well.
I'm stealing blatantly from Homeworld most of the time. So, but that's the inspiration I then have with that. The Homeworld was always a thing that I liked when it came to ship design, and that's why I also like the Duchessa, because it reminds me so much of Homeworld.
I would have to agree 100%. I even went through a stage where I made paper models of all the Homeworld ships.
Ooh, nice.
I think from Homeworld 1, back when internet was still dial-up.
Yeah. So again, take your time. Just there should be openings basically everywhere where you should be able to enter the ship if you want to see anything else. The hangar is always a good way to enter on the right side. From there you can go basically everywhere. It's a bit dark in here, but the lift is to the left. If you go through the airlocks, then
this little drone.
That's a ship seat. Basically, this is everything a ship needs, and then you can just add to it. It was an idea I had to go with a standardized drive section, basically, and then just add to it. Some of the ships I have around are built on this principle. It's dumb. It's a dumb idea because the way it is set up, it's not perfect, and it needs updating.
I think to teach someone who hasn't really played any Space Engineers how Space Engineers works, this is a perfect model. Put a seat somewhere in the front here, and you've got a flying seat.
Yeah, this works as it is because it has a remote control. But again, then you can just go around and say, okay, I want to add a few more thrusters. I want to add a cockpit here and shape something around it. If you accept the sizes, it was made for the size basically of the hangar doors, so that it can easily fit in here. So it is made to basically have something in the front. This where you are is basically the front, and you make it longer. Then it will definitely, from the height, it will fit into the hangar and all that stuff. And it has the standard connection, so you can connect it to the floor connectors. Basically, it's just the idea works for my world, but might not work for other worlds. But for me, it was the idea to have something standardized that I can bring in and then set up everything around it, and it is working for the world here. See you later, Rem.
See you, Remy.
So again, the rest then is this is basically the living quarters, and then back there the reactors, the server room. This ship has some scripts running, and there might be some more added later.
It's very nice. So this is, if I could set a goal for the Jadis, it would be something along this lines, like this kind of interesting interior rather than just a big hole like most of my ships usually end up being.
It's again that was the thing I had too, that I thought, okay, you need to. It's not good. It's not perfect. There's people that built a lot better interiors and environments and all that stuff, but I at least wanted to have an interior to not only, because if you go, for example, more to the front, there's just wide open space at the moment, and these are cabins with all the necessities and all that stuff. Toilets, that's I think one of the toilet rooms in the end, but the cabins here should have standardized things, and there's some that are set up, but some are missing things. I don't know, I had all the computer screens in here. Something, I lost a mod somewhere on the way that removed computer screens that I had in there, and beds.
Oh no. We have new beds now.
Yeah, everything's fine. I can do some of it now with just vanilla things. So needs a bit of redesign, can happen. And again, there's just a lot of empty space.
This is isn't it called like a gap, or no? I've forgotten the word. See, English is my first language, and I still forget most of the words.
This is just a lot of empty space. There is still ideas I have for the ship that need to be implemented maybe later. But I still want to dabble around with self-aiming torpedoes or something like that. If we go to the...
They are fun.
Yeah.
They are fun to watch.
Again, it's something I want to test out. We could go to the deck below. There's maybe a bit more stuff to see. I hope that the... let me go down and open the back hangar so you can enter there, because I don't know if the elevator will work for you. You could end up being stuck in there, and that might be problematic in the end. La 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 la, music. Da, 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 da,
I'll head
da.
outside while you sing to yourself.
It's there's hangars in the back of the ship where you could just try to get in. Then I'm surprised how well everything works right now. The one on the left side is opening right now. And that's the don't know, this is the area where people then will come into the ship, and there's a big open area here that I need to kind of fill with things, and then you can go deeper into the whole bowels of the ship with refineries and assemblers and whatever there is around here. Cargo, the hyperdrive is down here. The CIC, that's one thing I really like. I've built the CIC just because don't know, military ships have these command centers somewhere deep inside, and I wanted to have a room from where I could see all the screens and all the information and whatsoever, and that's this one.
I remember this room now. I remember this room. Yeah, this is something similar to what I'd like to build inside the bowels of the Jada, just in case the bridge does get blown up. But more of a command center than the Star Trek, you know.
Yeah.
The bridge sitting on top of the ship when they're in the middle of combat, whereas a submarine or a naval ship has a CRC deep in the bowels.
Yeah, that's
it protected.
That's the thing I kind of had with that too. Again, this ship doesn't have so many, and again the outside is directly behind that door, so it's not that it is. Here are the rescue capsules. I hope I didn't. So we have basically these things. You can get into it and then let yourself be catapulted out of the ship, but don't do that right now. It's
I didn't mean to press F when I got close to it.
It's the whole thing should know it. Let me air tighten this again, because we just released all the air out of the ship. By the way, that's one of the things where basically for some reason in this ship it works. Huge caverns that I can fill with air, but it's again the room up ahead is a room for decoys, where you can basically throw out decoys out of the ship that then hopefully distract any fire that comes in. That was one of the first things where I tried my hand in timed welding and timed opening of things, and it's a weird thing. I've never tested it against any enemies, but it should still work, where it opens the doors below, then welds up the decoy, throws it out on the next button press, basically, and then shuts everything down again. It's,
that again may show up in the Janus.
Do that. It's again. There's a lot of better things out there that do that work a lot better. Oh, okay. Now we have to deal with the fact that I depressurized the ship completely. That's
I'm sure it will catch up soon.
The thing is that I have in the front doors set up so that they react immediately when the ship depressurizes. I went completely to the front, so
okay. I'll catch up to you, sir.
The hydroponics are gone too. Need to work on that. So that would be basically the front section, where people can sit and enjoy the ride. I don't know. It's, and again, with another candy cane. The ships, the big ships have that. I was
about to say, and enjoy looking at the giant candy cane.
Yeah, definitely. And that's stuff that I implemented. We have a toilet here, for example, and all that stuff. It's just, don't know. After the deco blocks came, I went in and did some work to do the work, kind of.
And it's a toilet with a door, sir.
Yeah, because
you put the door in.
Again, because toilets need doors. Don't know who wants to sit there and when other people are, don't know, changing or whatsoever, be, hey, hello, let me just sit here. Yeah.
How you going? Yeah.
And again, it's the don't know, if you have a world that has so much stuff around, you don't know where to start, where to end. It's always the thing. What did I do? Yeah, okay, that's another entrance. We if you come to the CIC, we can get out of the ship again. There's an airlock here that should directly lead out of the ship.
I do enjoy these airlock doors.
That is one of the things, again, where they don't impact vanilla too much. So I don't know. I like these round airlocks. They are relatively realistic, and don't know. There's people that like to build airlocks. I don't. And so these things make my life a whole lot easier and a whole lot nicer. So
we have some action over this side.
Yeah. We're getting attacked at the moment. There's drones again, but something is shooting them, and I'm not sure if it's the Duchessa or if it's something else.
Big Blue was just shooting right then.
Big Blue was shooting. Okay, then.
Yeah, the little lasers down the front.
Oh, okay, then. Ah, I know. Okay, then I'm okay with it. I didn't notice that these. Yeah, these can shoot that. Okay, then it was Big Blue that shot them. Again, the rest of the base is a lot more to just walk around and see. Don't know, take everything in that you want to see. Otherwise, we can also go and do something else. It's
yeah. If you want to fly somewhere else, I'm happy to tag along.
I wait.
There's so much to see of all the things that you've already built, and I think maybe if you feel like going somewhere new, you can.
Yeah, then let us do that. Let's pack up again. We fly back to Dune and then maybe go to Dune's moon. Take a look at that. Again, there's also other planets that I still need to see. So the problem is you might have to disconnect again if we jump there now.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm happy to do that. Shouldn't take too long to load.
No, everything's fine. And what's the time? Don't know if we go for half an hour more or so. I'm absolutely fine doing that. I need to find. Don't know. I have to. I'm so old. I need to take a nap somewhere in the afternoon so that I can be fit for the stream in the afternoon. That will also happen. Oh,
I have to admit something here too, sir, that I have to have at least 2 coffees a day at work. Otherwise, I'm falling asleep in my seat.
Oh, okay. I usually don't drink coffee. That's one thing I kind of got rid of, but tomorrow I took one. I don't know. I drink one coffee a week or so. Dune orbit. Let me find my Dune orbit something. Dune orbit 1. Select that. You should have loaded up already. Current jump 35,000. So let us just go there. Okay, you're sitting down. That's good. And whoop. Back.
Yes, I will load back in.
Okay, then I will wait until you're loaded back in and then. Good.
Oh, no, it seems to be okay.
Yeah, maybe because there's not a lot around here, so. Oh, we have another pirate base that I will just go ahead and fly away and we will see how that works out for the pirates.
If they get too close.
Everything's fine. By the way, we will try to go through the atmosphere. I want to do a straight line course here, but I will have to hold the button again. I don't know how close the moon is. I've set that up all by hand, so it could be that the moon is farther away than I think, but it could also be closer than it's. Don't know. What did you want to say? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, reminiscing about remember Ultima Online. I'm not sure if you ever played that game.
I didn't play Ultima Online. I played the other games of the series. So I played
EverQuest.
No.
Or the actual Ultima games.
I played the Ultima games. I'm not too much into the whole. I'm not an MMO guy. That's okay. one of the things I never got into. I played a bit of World of Warcraft but never. It was never something I really got into. I played the original Ultima games. So Ultima 7, for example, Serpent Isle, the second part of Ultima 7 was something I was heavily into.
Yes.
It's that was really great. One of the best role-playing games, don't know, out there. Then that's the thing. I played the role-playing games like, don't know, Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's
Yeah.
Gate. That stuff I definitely played, but never something online. For me, the immersion goes away when there's too many people around. And
Yes.
one thing that really gets me is if there's, don't know, 50 people doing the same thing at the same time. So the world explains to me, yeah, this boss needs to be slain, and it's the huge bad evil, and don't know, find 4 friends and kill him, and at the same time 26 other people do the same, and you can see them. For me, it got better once they had instances where you at least couldn't see the other people doing the same thing, where you were the chosen one that needed to destroy the big bad evil. And the chosen one was, in the end, 400 other people too that do the same thing at the same time and run around and steal your loot or something like that. So I don't know. I was never too much into that.
Yeah, I was. We didn't have a lot of. I mean, I had a few friends, but a lot of my friends became online when I was, because that was my early 20s, Ultima and World of Warcraft. So, yeah, the macros was my favorite thing, where you could just put a bit of blue tack and a knife on the spacebar, and you could jump 1,000 times, or and build up your jumping skill and your agility skill.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe we could do that with the W key.
I did that. I have somewhere. I have some Eurocents taped together that I can just lay on there. It's the think about that. The first long flights I did. Don't know. I did the first trip when the planets were introduced. I went to Mars, I think, from the Earth-like, and that was a trip of 2,000 kilometers with a speed of 100 meters per second and no jump drives. Yeah. That was a long time flying.
Oh yeah.
And then
crazy.
One thing I, for example, tried was I wanted to build up an antenna network from Earth to Mars. And at one point I had to just realize that's not possible this way, because I had to do, then when the jump drives came, I had to do jumps over, don't know, the length of the antenna range, and then build the next station there. And then I at one point realized that would be, don't know, 200 don't know, yeah, so many 50
kilometers between, yeah.
That's a lot of stations, let's say it that way. And I don't know, then mods came along that made the antenna range. Now the antenna range is infinite, but the first times the laser antennas were introduced, for example, it was just 50 kilometers or 40. I think it was even less than the normal antenna. Yeah, and that was so dumb.
20.
Yeah. And that was so dumb because it's just it's a laser antenna. The 2,000 kilometers shouldn't be nothing for a laser antenna. And let me do a short jump. We will go and do a blind jump into that direction and see how far it is away. Oh, okay. We need more jumps.
I do have to say that the sound engineering and space engineers has become so awesome. Like from the early days to now.
Now that they have the realistic sound and all that stuff, I'm really happy with that. We can do a.
Even Brit.
Sorry, you. What did you want to say?
I was just gonna say, even if you run, if you hold down shift and run for a while and you stop, you can hear yourself breathing heavy.
Yeah. And it changes again with the we have two sound modes, the realistic and the arcade, I think. And with that you also have the changes that it sounds differently. Everything kind of it gets quiet once you're in an airless room and all that stuff. That's really nice. That's stuff I really appreciate. Okay, we should be relatively close. Let us go and see. Okay, that were 200 kilometers, and the next we will try to fly it, although we could see if we could do another jump. It tells me that 100 kilometers we're the hyperdrive has one big problem. It has long jump ranges, but it doesn't deal with the small ones too well, because I basically have to go now and put in 0.0264 and I have to kind of see, okay, maybe if we go to something like that, then we suddenly have a range of 62 kilometers. That's it doesn't deal well with the smaller numbers. Okay, we can do another 60 kilometer jump. And then hopefully we are closer to the... Aha.
That's awesome. I'm still dumbstruck every time I see something that people have modded in, just the pure prettiness of the game.
The game. Oh, we are in Gravity already. The game looks so much nicer than it did before, and don't know. It still surprises me when you see, don't know, the sun close over the horizon of a planet or something like that. Looks really, really nice. Should we take the dropship and take a look at the surface?
Yeah, let's go.
I brought it to the bottom of the. Does this one have a second cockpit? No. Nah, let us not use the vector thrust. I'm not sure how your ping reacts to that. As I always like to use that, but okay, I hope you're sitting down.
It's a pity Ramathet wasn't here to see us upside down again.
Everything's fine.
I was actually having fun with him on his stream the other day, talking about the Emu Wars.
The drop bears. That's the one thing. I always had fun with it, that a country could just invent an animal and bring the whole world to just accept that this thing exists. the Australia is always, I'm not dealing well with Australia. I kind of want to visit. On the other hand, I don't want to die, because don't know, nearly all of the 10 most poisonous animals live in Australia, and I when it comes to snakes, I'm really phobic, and that I don't know what this would These are crazy structures. Do you see that? I hope it's
I
loading
do.
in for you.
There's that's interesting. It almost looks like a snapshot of something's hitting water.
Yeah, something like that. Again, these are all modded moons and planets, so it's, I don't know, maybe it messed up somewhere, but the thing is that this looks really crazy cool. The question for me is always, does it inspire me to do something with it? And I'm not sure. It would be nicer if everything would be closer together, because then you could, don't know, have a base built around one of these spires and then have bridges that go to other spires, something like that. I don't know.
There may be some on the planet. You could find some for later.
Yeah, definitely. But don't know. I'm thinking about what to do here. If this planet, for example, would have a crazy atmosphere with, don't know, mists and fog or something like that, then we could do something like an Alien, have a crashed ship that's full of, I don't know, whatsoever. The
spiders.
Yeah, that's for example. I don't know if these moons or the planets have spiders, for example, because what I recently brought in is a spider fix. Sektan did a spider fix where he basically made the spiders scary again, and don't know, that's this. I'm a bit worried to go back to for example the alien planet now to see if they're really angry again now. Let us go back and maybe take a look at one of the planets. The planets could be a lot more interesting. The problem with some of the moons and some of the planets could be that they might, the mods might be outdated.
Yeah.
So for example the dune still has uranium on the surface. So saying I don't want to use reactors down there is kind of useless because it has uranium everywhere. So the idea would be to just use reactors everywhere. But okay, then that.
I'll tell you what, Robin. If you ever decide to come to Australia, I'll take you through, and I'll show you all the safest places where there's no snakes or spiders.
I don't have a problem with spiders, although I know that that your spiders are also very scary. But the spiders really don't get me too much. But if you think that you strand with your ship close to the shores of Australia, and then you jump off your boat to swim to the shores. Then you first had to deal, and again, that's something you can deal with, sharks. Then there's don't know, squids in the water, not squids. Is it octopuses? I don't know.
Jellyfish and
octopuses and jellyfish in the water that are really small, but one touch of them is immediately killing you. Then you come closer to the shores. And it's in some parts saltwater crocodiles. Then sea serpents, snakes, whatsoever. One of the most poisonous creatures on this planet. If you go to the shores, there's more crocodiles. then if you're on the sand, there's one of the worst snakes in the world, the taipan. I don't know how they are called in Australia, but that thing.
They're They're in the desert though. They're sort of inland a lot further.
Ah,
You've got to
okay.
get past the angry birds before you have to worry about the
Yeah,
taipans.
that's the next thing. Then there is these sweet and cute kangaroos that if you see a real kangaroo, they lose their sweet and thing. How was this crazy muscular kangaroo called? I recently saw that there was a famous kangaroo that just looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger on crack with don't know muscles everywhere, and it's Australia is I can understand why someone thought this would be good for criminals. it's one of my cousins was there and she also said it's the best, but again I'm deathly afraid of everything that's there. But I at one point, if I could ever muster up the money, I will definitely have to visit it. But maybe I will.
Modern Australians are a little different now. So you get off your plane and you walk through the concourse, and the first dangerous thing you see is the luggage caddy or carousel. And then all the European backpackers standing around waiting for their backpack.
I can understand. They are the worst. I can absolutely understand that. Okay, now I will have to guesstimate where that planet is. I think it's around 5,000 kilometers out. So we'll do another crazy jump and see what this planet holds for us. I'm interested. I have one moon in here that I definitely want to see. But okay, 16,000 is a bit too much. 5,000. We will go that, and then hopefully that is good. This is, by the way, just 1% of the range of that hyperdrive. So
1%.
Yeah, 1%. It's at the moment at 1% power. So again, I chose this because it can do a lot, and I don't have to wait for too long. Whoa, we overshot it. Okay, then we go back. Maybe 2,000 kilometers. The problem is we are spawning in crazy amounts of asteroids right now. The game is not happy about that, I'm pretty sure. Okay. So go back to it and then maybe go 2,000 kilometers. Come on. It's so finagly to just find the right setting here. Okay, can we jump already? Yes, and that's another thing. You can basically constantly jump with that thing, because if you just use up 1% of the power, then it's immediately refilled and you can just go again. Oh, we overshot it again, but now that should be relatively close. Yeah, I need to set up waypoints for that, and then maybe cheat a bit, so I don't have to do all the jumps constantly.
Well, once you're in close to the planet, you'll be able to set one up shortly, so you get an idea at least.
Yeah.
It does look pretty in green right now.
I think it uses the palette of the alien world. I'm not sure if it brings textures, so it could be pretty cool. Let us see if 500 is good. Okay, half of that. So maybe go to 1.5 or something like that. So 553, okay. Let us see. Ooh, okay. Oh man,
Oh,
that is
that's gorgeous.
yeah. That's a lot more. Give me a sec. Finally. No, I missed her.
Oh no.
So again, this could be too close to the. It could be a bit too close to the alien planet for my taste, but we will see how that works out. Let us do another jump. Maybe go back to the 100 kilometers. So we will go to 0.2 or something. Okay, then we can just do mass one jump after the next until we get into range. Okay, that looks a lot more. Okay, we should be close because now it tells me we can't jump into the gravity well. Half that again. Roughly, let us try if that works. No, still gravity field. So let us go and coast a bit. This
planet looks bigger. Is it bigger, or am I just...
The one before was a moon. So the planets roughly have 120 kilometers. The moons have 22 or something like that sometimes. So that definitely looks bigger, yeah, but
it's been so long since I've stood on a planet in space engineering.
it's this is too close to the alien planet for my taste. Maybe the moon here will give off a better vibe, but this is just too close to the alien planet. But we can
green mist.
Yeah, that maybe adds something. We will have to see how that works out. Oh, all the asteroids. The game gets bigger and bigger. At one point, I will have to have a hard drive just for my space engineer's save or something like that. I would have to take a look at, for example, Funland. Oh, we are in gravity field. Funland has a size limit, and the server that it's running on, and it could be that my world would not. I'm not sure. I could talk out of my behind right now, but it comes definitely closer to the size limit than Funland itself. So if I ever have the plan to maybe open up the world for a few hours, that was always a plan I had, to open up the world for a few hours so people could just stroll around in it and break it if they want. But I will prepare the dropship.
I think if you did do that, you would need to do it on a server and not have it as part of your recording world, because
no. That will not happen.
Epictetus did that and it nearly killed his world.
The people immediately killed it. You're from current position, and this is I don't know. I call it Alien World 2 orbit, so that we have a point that we can get back to. Let us take the dropship again. That's always the preferred ship. I need to make a version with 2 cockpits so that I can accommodate my guests a bit better. Otherwise, it's always this. Please sit down on the outside of this ship. We will plummet to the ground without. Oh, do you have enough oxygen?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I borrowed, and I'll say borrowed, one of your oxygen cylinders before.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Otherwise, I would have gone back and get more of that. Ooh, the mountains look really big.
Yeah. There's a lot. It looks like a lot more ice than the alien planet, from my recollection.
The alien planets were really, really dark to save up on money, but the mountains are a lot higher than the original alien planet in here. See that the one directly in front of us is peeking out of the atmosphere.
Oh, it is too. Look at that.
Or at least out of the not out of the atmosphere, but yeah, or maybe out of the atmosphere, out of the mist there. Don't know. It's I always want to see if these planets then bring anything to the table that makes them unique and special. That's why I'm a bit worried about this one, because it's so close to the alien world. It could be that the mountains do something, but I'm not sure what to do with that then in the end. They could all look crazy wonky because I spawned them in. It could be that they don't represent the original planets that the mod authors had in mind.
Yeah.
So
That's always the risk, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
They are big mountains.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, this plateau over there is really, really high. We are 19 kilometers up. And this is really, really big. That makes for good shadows then in the end and all that stuff. It could be interesting to do something here. For example, if there's mountains really close together, if you don't know, then could have again a base that is set up as on a bridge in between in the valley or something like that. I'm not sure.
Actually, the mountain just slightly off to our left, the two mountain peaks there,
Yeah.
it looks like it's got a nice little gap in between.
Yeah. Don't know. And then we could have, don't know, I could go into then deliberately building something in darkness or something like that, because my world is set up with a fixed sun, so that wherever I am, I have bases, I basically have sunlight, because I hate doing recordings in the darkness, because that's just the worst thing. You need to light up the areas. Light is one of the main sources of drops in the game, and that's always the trade-off. And I'm trying to just go in, and we have 4 kilometers up, and the mountain is we're close to the
It does look like it's peeking out through the mist, doesn't it?
This one might be not, but there's somewhere one over there that definitely did that. So yeah, this is, the mountains are one of the things that could be really interesting. The rest is definitely more like the alien planet.
Yeah, it's got alien trees.
Yeah. It's the whole, it's just based on the alien planet. One thing we should maybe take a look at is if it has spiders. If we can maybe get them to show up. Yeah, this is crazy. With the mountains, this is definitely crazy. No spiders? Seems
I can't see any.
Again, I don't know. Maybe we have to get out, but I don't want to die here now.
I'll just jump out quickly.
No, everything's fine. Let us. But the mountains are the mountains is the most interesting thing here. So that's then don't know. Then you need to think about that. But the problem is I've built so many bases now in mountains that there needs to be a change up of that then too. Oh, and the other thing is, Jason Pierce, hello. No problem. It will end soon. We're in already for 3 hours, so have to stop at one point. Yeah, this might be interesting to build something in here. Oh, is there an atmosphere? That's something.
It says no oxygen and freezing.
Okay, then. Yeah, you have to check that because I have it warm and nicely oxygenated. I have a lot of air in here. Jason Pierce, I'm from Germany, so I did start this a bit deliberately early because we don't have it early in the morning. I have it afternoon now, but I'm streaming with Pieburn. Pieburn is from Australia, so he has it somewhere in the evening now, so that's why I'm a bit early. Usually I would stream a lot later. No, it is German, yeah. Let us go up. I want to see the one moon. I think this one has two. I set up one of the planets with 2 moons, so but I want to see the one that we already saw there. Good to hear that, Jason Pierce. Okay, I always hate the ride up to space again. That's
just flying straight up. This moon, yeah, this one has 2. I can see the second one below us. And to the right.
Oh yeah, that's the ice moon. There's one that's closer to Europa, so that's an ice moon. But I want to see the front one. There's one planet or one moon that's called Object 85, and if it is that thing, again, I completely forgot what I have set up there. It might have a cool structure. I hope it retained the structure that the object itself has, because the in the description for this thing, it's basically a moon with deep craters, and the atmosphere, or not the atmosphere, but the mist is set up in the craters, so that you basically have an atmosphere in the craters. Should be. I'm.
That just sounds too good.
Yeah.
I have to find all these later.
But I can link them to you if you want. It's just, again, I needed a bit of a difference. That's why I have the feeling this is too close to the alien planet, although the mountains are cool.
I think deep in the valley on the dark side of that planet would make an interesting base.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Then you could work with light, and you could light the thing up. And another aspect I usually tend to not do. There could be atmospheres there. They might not be atmospheres with. So the Europa atmosphere in the game and Titan, I think they don't have oxygen, but they have atmospheres like Mars, for example. Mars has a very, very thin CO2 atmosphere, so the wind turbines would work there, but you still couldn't breathe. So, and it might be that Europa and Titan in reality have atmospheres, but they are moons. So moons tend to not have so much gravity that it's a weird thing. So it could be realistic. Let's say it that way. Jason Pierce. I will say Jason from now on. So But yeah, Europa Start is, in my opinion, one of the easier ones. There's different opinions to that, but you at least have a lot of ice, so you will not die from suffocation. I think Mars Start or Alien Start is a lot harder.
Finding that first piece of ice that you need,
Yeah,
and getting into a converter.
Did you?
Space is much easier.
Space is a lot easier, but there's also people that suffocated in space because the first time we played with the new mining, we did that on stream for Keen. We kind of ran into the problem that we couldn't find ice. That was a bit weird because usually ice is the one thing you can find in space a lot. So let us do another jump and see what the moon holds for us, and then I will have to.
It doesn't help that I ran into something.
What, you ran into something?
Yeah.
Give me a sec. Although the spawns on Empress should be activated, but I will give you a respawn.
I'm good.
Okay, then.
I'm back in the bridge.
You should find all your stuff because things should be picked up. Yeah, if you have corruption or reverse on, you're just crazy and you're just doing harm to yourself and you like it. That's what happens with corruption and reverse, Jason. But that can be fun. Corruption and reverse. I have. In this world, I have assertive installations turned on, and every time someone visits, it's getting crazy. Okay, let me see. Where's the moon there? Okay, we need to turn.
I am seated, sir.
Yes, good. Okay, let us go straight for it. We will do small jumps so that we hopefully can get close to it relatively early. It's always misleading because you don't know how big this moon is. It could be a bit smaller, and then you don't know. The distance might be a lot less than you think. Can immediately do another jump. Yeah, the worst thing in corruption is definitely the hacker drone. That's just the worst thing. Lucas should be, don't know, banned just for the hacker drone. That thing is the worst. Ah, come on. Okay, it's farther away than I thought. The thing is that the moons are usually positioned, don't know, 120 kilometers away from the planet. I didn't really think about that when I placed them.
I tried that Lucas upgrade mod at one stage where you would put in whatever modded weapons you want, and then he would the mod would then add those weapons to all the vanilla ships and corruption ships that came into the game.
Yeah,
that was painful.
I don't know.
That was just painful.
Yeah, I don't know why you would do that to yourself. Don't know if you have railguns or something in, you're just nope.
That's pretty much it.
Oh,
but then
man.
If they have railguns as well, we're getting closer.
Yeah, but I don't know how many jumps the world can handle. I don't have shield mods turned on at the moment because the defense shield is sadly not working together with laser antennas. and the energy shields I never tested. So, or I tested, but not with this mod settings and all that stuff. So I'm at the moment I don't have shields with me. This thing is a lot bigger than I thought.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Are you sure it's not a planet?
It's not. It's definitely not. It should be. Okay, we are close. It's not a jump drive. It's a hyperdrive. That's a mod that has so crazy ranges. No, it's not the Object 85. So that has so crazy ranges that if you make a 100-kilometer jump, you barely use up any energy of the the hyperdrive. So that's how I charge it so fast.
Those jumps we did, was that like 0.01%?
It's 0.0, 0.01 something. Whoa, okay, that's not a moon, that's a planet. Or I misjudged something, because the atmosphere, we are 10 kilometers up and are already in a gravity field. So yeah, there's mountains. The surface looks nice. This looks really dark and gloomy. I hope that's the way it is. Let us do another new, no, not new from clipboard, new from, okay, that's where we are. So we can get back here once we jump down there. And again, after this, we will have to end it. But again, I really want to join your world at one point and take a look at that, and definitely get into visiting other people more.
One moment, sir.
Oh, good.
There we go. Lag spike. Sorry.
Everything's fine. Yeah, and there's the other. That's Dune. This has also these spikes. I hope I didn't mess anything up with spawning them in. That would be bad. But because again, this whole object 85 thing, that's one thing I definitely want to see, because it's the idea of that was very, very nice. Now this is definitely a different thing. Okay, I always have to test if we have enough power to stop us from crashing into the surface.
Yeah, the gravity is going up fairly quickly for the planet.
But it should be 0.5 or something like that.
Keep forgetting you have a speed mod, so you can go up to 200 meters per second.
Yeah. Ooh.
Wow.
This is not the same. It is kind of like the moon, but I'm pretty sure the texture is different. Is there atmosphere?
No.
Okay.
It's freezing cold and no oxygen.
It's a lot bigger than the moon. Has a lot less craters. That's nice. Yeah, and it's darker kind of. It has a darker texture than the moon itself. So the atmospheric thrusters react to something. So there seems to be some sort of atmosphere.
Yeah, we're only getting half a G in gravity.
Yeah.
That sun does look beautiful through there.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, it's everything has atmosphere, but on the moon, for example, the thrusters wouldn't show up. And this again, this shouldn't be a planet. This should be a moon. I might have done something wrong while installing it, but this is nice because it has this. Yeah, again, this has more of the alien vibe where you could, don't know, have a crashed ship here that holds crazy alien eggs or something like that. I like this a lot more than the normal moon.
I'd agree with that 100%.
Ooh, I like it. I will do something. Will happen here. Maybe the planet is uninteresting, or will come later because it is too close to the alien. But this is kind of nice.
Can you see that peak just over to the left?
To the left, this one.
And a little bit further. And a little bit more.
Oh, this one. Ooh,
that one.
Okay. Yeah. Moons can have atmospheres in Space Engineers. I'm pretty sure that the moons might have atmosphere, Galidas, but I think the atmospheric thrusters don't react to them. That's the thing. Because atmospheric thrusters, for example, on Mars, although it shows no oxygen, they work. And here it seems they work too. But you can see that now they don't work. We are too high up now for the atmospherics to work. That's weird. This is nice. So we are just, don't know how high up are we?
I can't see the altitude.
Don't know, roughly a kilometer or something like that. So yeah, we are roughly, don't know, 800 meters or so high. So this is really nice. So how deep do we have to go so that the atmospherics kick in? So here, for example, the atmospherics kick in. And if we are close to the ground, they definitely work. They are not. They are not oxygen fueled, so it's not like an atmospheric thruster would work in any atmosphere. They work in any atmosphere that's there. So again, Mars has an atmosphere in Space Engineers. Atmospheric thrusters work. But for example, the moon doesn't have an atmosphere, as far as I know. I don't know how the settings are there. Maybe you can set them. Maybe you can say, okay, the moon has an atmosphere, but that is just so thin that it doesn't reach the surface. I'm not sure, because it seems to be that way. Here, the atmosphere is so thin that it just works 100 meters over ground or something like that. So, not sure how this works out. So I hope you're not getting sleepy there and just hit your head on the keyboard or something.
Well,
I don't want to keep you from getting to bed or something like that.
I am a natural night owl, sir, and I will stay up until 1 o'clock usually. Most. That's why the 6 a.m. streams is it's always a delight.
Ah, nice. Okay, here you can even see it in the thrust. Here it has a lot more thrust than when you go up a few hundred meters. It suddenly loses. See how slow it now. How slow it now accelerates, because there is a very, very thin atmosphere. Nice. This needs to be explored. This thing. That's great.
I think you need to build a mist ship.
A mist ship?
Yeah, a ship that can hide in the mist. All grey and
And that's usually how I build my ships. So,
this one's quite Christmassy by the looks of it. I'm staring at it from over the top.
people, I had 1WSX10 in the world, and he started to randomly color ships. And he did a small scout that I built with vector thrust. He just colored green and red, and I kind of like it. And then I brought in the chessboard there and kept it. Again, I need more color for the ships because all my builds usually are just gray. That needs to change at one point.
It kind of looks orky from Warhammer.
That was not planned. If you mean that, no, it's Warhammer. I would be more into other colors there. Orky is not a big fan of the orcs.
Now I have to ask what faction you would be.
Something happens. Could be that my game crashed. No, everything's fine. I usually played Space Marines or Inquisition. Something with the Inquisition. I'm when it comes to the small corner in the small fascist corner in my in my head says, oh yeah, space Nazis. That's great. Or space. How is that called? How space dictatorships with dead emperors and all that stuff. That's great. And skulls, all the skulls in the world. That's more my thing there. It's the what was this saying? Don't know if you add skulls, you have orcs. Then you add more skulls, then you end up having who's Corrin or something like that, one of the Chaos Gods. Then you add more skulls, and you end up with an Inquisition ship or tank or whatsoever. It's just don't know, like that more. The Imperial. I don't know. I'm the Imperial Army I was always a fan of them, but never played them. This whole we throw people at things until the things are gone. It's just this whole World War II Red Army thinking is just Soviet Red Army thinking is that's really inhumane.
I got thrown across the ship with a lag spike.
Oh.
Yeah, to drown my enemies in my own blood.
Yeah, something like that. The don't know what is the death core of Krieg? These guys are just the worst. And the retreat, never heard of her. And the whole thing is so nice. I played Elders for a bit because they are just don't know
Space fairies.
At the time, yeah, space fairies or space elves. The time that I played them, there were crazy overpowered things in there. The warp spiders that just shredded everything that came too close to them, and that was Jason. Have a good night. That was just great. But that's another one of these things where I just don't know that I just had to stop to not say, okay, I want to buy everything. And
yes,
it's the same.
I have one of my good friends is an engineer, so he has quite a lot of cash, and he's like our almost like our dealer, but he doesn't sell us anything. He just holds on to them for us. So he's got my entire, I think I've got 250 or 300 Imperial Guards, not including special weapons, heavy weapons, or tanks.
That's just ridiculous.
That's half of what I used to have. I used to have a lot more. Plus all the tanks. All the tanks.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's how the guard works, kind of. It's, I don't know. It's I haven't played that in, don't know, 20 years or something like that. It's not that I have all the biggest experience, but the game itself I kind of enjoy. There's others I played too, but I have friends that are way more into the tabletop games, the strategy tabletop things. Friends played Confrontations, Iron Kingdoms, Infinity, and all that stuff. Cool things, but
Nice things.
I'm more of a tabletop RPG guy. That's my thing. Playing nice characters, exploring worlds, and all that stuff. That's more my thing.
Did you do the Dungeons and Dragons? I think we covered this before.
Nope, Dungeons and Dragons is, we have that, but never a thing that was too big for me. I never played Dungeons and Dragons itself. I played. I started with Shadowrun, and then we had basically our own Dungeons and Dragons version. It that's I think in English it's now called the Dark Eye.
Ooh.
It's
Not vampire.
no. It's a fantasy setting. It's basically Dungeons and Dragons, but some German guy said we want to do that and then have our own rules and our own things but do all the same. And it's just a fantasy setting. We played that a lot until we realized what a dumb game it is, and then don't know, more Shadowrun, and then once I found the group I'm playing with now for, don't know, close to 20 years, we started to go into stuff like Seventh Sea, Legend of the Five Rings, Star Wars in all its versions. So Star Wars D20, and then we basically rolled back from Star Wars D20 to Star Wars D6. So the Atlas games, Star Wars stuff, that's so old. Then
oldie but goldie, mate.
Yeah, it works a lot better than D20. Hex, that is Hollow Earth Expedition Space 1889, I think. We don't know. We play a lot of stuff. We what else do we play? We recently started playing Iron Kingdoms. That's basically I don't know how there's a strategy game that is, I don't know if it's called Iron Kingdoms. It's a Steam mech game with
I know the one you mean.
With different factions that all have these magical Steam mechs that walk around, and we played the RPG version of that. Then don't know. That's more my thing. That's what I like to play.
I did the Shadowrun myself back in '91, I think it was.
Yeah, Shadowrun is. Yeah, we
haven't had a chance since. But yeah, I all those names I've played it. I had a go at them, but I've never had a group for 20 years. I'm a little envious, sir.
that's how we do. It's roughly 20 years. My DM and his wife, they have a kid, and we started when he was 6 months old. I started to play with them. They played for a long time more, and he did his first weeks at university. So that's for how long we are playing, and it's great. We meet every 2 weeks and just don't know, play for a few hours. We're not these marathon gamers that say, okay, we meet Saturday and play for 8 hours. That wouldn't work for us. But it's definitely needed. We have their son recently started to play with us, and we are just, don't know, 6 people, and hello Bitfighter, you're late, and we're close to ending the stream. Sorry Bitfighter that I but we will see us in the evening, I would say.
How you go, Bitfighter?
I don't have any. You don't need to try that. I don't have any bots running, Bitfighter. These pros, they all think that Ramethep sets the page for all the streamers with all his bots and his automatic links that are spread around and all that stuff. Okay, go away with this. I will do all this by hand or by voice. The uptime is 3.5 hours. Good. Pieburn, I have to stop now. I have to set up the next stream for the evening, and I have to eat something and all that stuff. That was really great, and we need to definitely do that again at one point, and maybe I can visit your world and take a look at that.
Oh, that would be awesome. And
Yes,
and it's been a pleasure. And as I said earlier on, I've been fanboying for this whole trip.
You shouldn't.
No, you should take the compliment, sir.
that's
It's a joy to meet someone as encouraging as yourself, and I've said this in the past. But it's also fun to see what you've built up over the years. So it's brilliant.
I like to show off when it comes to that. That's something I really like to do. People might notice that it's always a pleasure for me to just hear, and I did this and then this. What else do you want to see? There's so much to take a look at. For me, it's always a good way to, don't know, to remind the people of what else is in the world, so that people can go back and say, okay, I want to maybe take a look at at what time he built this and that. The next. Sorry.
I was just going to say I want to go back to pre 617 and look at the original Impressor.
Again, that was another few months, I think, of videos. So I think that world starts around somewhere 450 or so. And then it goes to 600 something, and then everything breaks there because don't know, my world got lost and computer crashed. Then I had to start over in this world. So that's always people sometimes ask me why I don't have seasons, why I just count, because it's my journey in Space Engineers and not the world's journey. Kind of weird thinking about that, but most people have seasons to kind of go in and say for each world they start, but the whole thing was 4 worlds basically. So the first starting world over 5 years ago with basically nothing, and Space Engineers being in a really, really small state, and then the planets came. I had to switch worlds. This world got corrupted at one point. It was just not playable anymore. Needed to go to the next world, and this world then I lost, and that's the 4th world I think I'm playing. So
we're in the 4th age of Raben.
Yeah, in the 4th age of this series. But it's, again, I'm the problem with Space Engineers is you're doing stuff over and over again anyways. So if I would have seasons, people would have the 4 seasons of me doing all the stuff again and again. So that's kind of what I avoided. Good, Pieburn. That was really great. We need
It has
to
been.
do that again at one point. It's always awkward with the time zones, but I hope that we can soon find the time again to do that. Maybe on the weekend I could visit you or something like that.
Yeah, we'll organize something. We'll keep chatting.
Yeah, we will do that. Yeah, but it's again, stay in contact. You don't need to fanboy. You basically have my number, so just if there's anything, then just write me a message. Good.
I will. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for hosting me, and thanks for showing me your world. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so very
No
much.
problem. Always like to do that. Good people, thanks for watching. I would say that's all from me and Pieburn here. Hope you liked. Time for the next stream somewhere in the evening, 9 p.m. my time. So 9 p.m. Berlin time will be the next stream. We want to give Keen a bit of a heads up because today is Keen is streaming because of, I think yesterday was the 6th birthday of Space Engineers. And so they want to stream today and announce things, and we want to give them a heads up so that the people can watch that and then come to us. 9 p.m. Berlin time, that will be the thing in the evening. Good people, if you liked the stream, then please leave a like on the video. That always helps. The VOD will be up shortly. Give it a bit of time so that it can process. So even if it's up, don't immediately watch it, or you end up with, don't know, just being able to watch 2 hours or something like that. Good people, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next stream. See ya, guys.